By the man, the myth, the legend, Andrew Wood. Great to have you back. I know you couldn't join us for the Triple Crown, but man, we're going east. We got East Coast action to kick off tonight, the first round of their championship, and we're just looking at qualifying times. This is going to be a good class.
Yeah, I'm going to miss a couple races, but I'm glad that I get to see East Coast kick off and see where all these guys stand, and really excited for tonight. And yeah, it's always fun when you get a fresh new series and you never know where everyone's going to kind of settle in. So I'm really excited for the night of the racing and glad to be here.
We're also talking about the track a little bit, and we'll get into it in a minute, but it looks pretty naughty. Like 250, 450 class, the variation between the lines all throughout the track is going to be pretty intense tonight.
Yeah, I think could be big differences between each class and the lines that you're seeing. Normally it's maybe one or two jumps. I feel like it's going to be probably half the track, different rhythms, but we'll see. Some of these 250 guys might surprise us and pull out some big lines. And yeah, it's all about consistency and keeping it on two wheels in these tricky rhythm sections.
All right, well, let's talk about these 250 East boys as they go to the line tonight for the first time in their championship, and they're led, at least at the moment. We haven't got a refresh at the end of qualifying just yet. I'm going to wait till that 30-minute mark is hit. But Austin Partolo, as of now, fastest qualifier, 56-1, Emmett Sun, Jack Mark, Austin Schaefer, Alec Horn, Tyler Shields, Matt Cromie, Jaden Gomez, Johnny Padani, all in the 56s. 9 riders separated by less than a second. Really 10 because Dylan Delaire's also less than a second there at that 57-1. So, man, obviously tight field, but, you know, even for a 56-second lap time, it's pretty crazy to see this many guys close together.
Yeah, really long track for the type of football stadium that we're watching. So, and it is technical, so that's really cool. The thing that kind of stands out to me is Partolo half second faster than the next fastest guy. So if you can say your race pace is 0.3 off what your fastest lap is, he's still going to be, you know, better than the next guy's best. So going to be cool to see what he does if he comes out in a heat and shows us some really strong times. He might separate himself as the one to beat. But yeah, these guys are all really close. If you're inside that top 10, you're going to feel good. Even Cade Matterly back there, maybe he didn't gel with the track or get a good lap in, but he's not in too bad of a spot, and he's a racer, so.
Yeah, we know he's a racer. He's always come to play, especially in the outdoors, and now we get to see what he does on this East Championship. Just going to look down the field a little bit and see what our cutoff time is for Fast 40, 59.0. So there you go. I mean, you know, about 3 seconds separating top time to 40th, which is actually a decent amount of gap there that we don't normally see. Sometimes it's even closer than that. And a lot of guys showed up tonight but are going home early. 72 entries, and of course only 40 make it into the night shows. So tough break for some of those guys. You may see some of your friends down the list there. But let's talk about 450 Supercross, and I'll refresh this page while we're looking at it real quick. But Braden Tharp, at least provisionally, jumps up from 250 West out here to the 450 class to moonlight the East Coast a little bit and goes fastest against this massively talented class.
Yeah, it seems weird looking down now. The list seems a little bit out of order, out of sorts, that we would normally expect a lot of the heavy hitters not right up there in the top 3, but Eaglin, last week's winner, right up there, and Tharp, you got to see him jumping up, and I guess Carr, right, he's still a rookie in this 450 class, so to see him up in third is pretty good. So yeah, it looks like everything's pretty much the same. So Braden Tharp, man, we've seen guys kind of play spoiler. Shirley and Carr did that last year on the opposite coast, and Thar's going to come out, get some experience, and man, if he can sneak a win in here, and it might tighten up that 450 battle. And not seeing a lot of names unless I'm skipping. Leclerc 35th.
I was going to say, huge. I was like, I don't see the 7. I got to go down here and look, but he does squeak in. Very surprising to see Leclerc down there. Are you more surprised by that, or the fact that Carter at a 55.023 is almost a full second off the pace?
Yeah, Carter and Shirley are just both like hot lap hero type of guys, where it seems they're not obviously champions race winners, but like they can throw down a heater. They don't have trouble qualifying. To see them that far off, there's got to be maybe something they're not doing or didn't find out or didn't get consistently. But we'll talk about the track a little bit more too. Those whoops, right? Carter's really good at those, but maybe you have something that's a deal breaker where you always kind of end up, I feel like I used to end up with qualifying. Oh, I had to crash 9 out of 10 laps. And I'm like, I could get a 54.2 because I crashed. I ran a 104.2. I could have had that. A lot of these guys, that might have been what happened in the short time qualifying session. So going to be interesting. A lot of fun names up there in the top 10 that we don't normally see.
Absolutely. Real quickly, before we jump in and take a look at this track, we'll talk about the standings coming into tonight. This is 250 West. Of course, they're on hiatus, but Braden Carter, fresh off a second place at the Triple Crown at Glendale, moves back into the championship lead over Alexis Leclerc. Colby Eaglin wins the Triple Crown and sits in 5 points back, so he was able to move a little bit closer. We still got a pretty close championship dynamic moving east, closer than we've seen in the past, especially Carter, who's always good at the California rounds, sometimes has established his dominance early. I feel like we haven't quite seen that yet, even though he is holding the red plate.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I guess compare him to like a Joe Shimoda, right? Or Hunter Lawrence, or someone that gets like a slow start and builds. He's always been the opposite of that. And so it is kind of it is kind of nerve-wracking when you see Carter not get out to maybe the hottest start that he's been. So it looks like we might be having a special guest coming here in studio.
Yeah, real quick, before we get the stream started tonight, I don't know that I've introduced all of you fine people yet to the new man in the business. This is our little guy, Matthew, born in November of last year, and he's a big moto fan already. He always tries to turn his head around and watch some Supercross, so he's going to go to bed here soon, but everyone say hi to Matthew. He is going to grow up and probably win this championship in about 13 years, but he's going to be excited to learn all about this game. And hopefully I don't hold him back, because I was not quite as successful as some of these guys. So that is that.
Yeah, he does got some hair. He got a mullet going on back there. Party in the back for sure.
We are ready to go and get into the action here tonight. All right, looks like UID grab still has not happened yet, which is a bit surprising. So I guess we could take a look at this track. I think I got a camera somewhere around here that we could maybe scooch up and take a look at this circuit here. But yeah, like you said, it's a very interesting track dynamic here tonight, because right-handed first corner, some rhythm sections that are going to be tricky for a lot of guys to master. But take us through it, Awood. What are you seeing on this track that stands out for you?
So I kind of was saying, the first thing I wanted to say was, looks like pretty one line from the finish line to maybe the Supercross triple, which is like 2/3 of the track. Just short sections, right? I do like the start, but the short rhythms, a lot of maybe not full 180s or 90s, right? You're going to kind of get, but I do think after the Supercross triple, that rhythm section looks pretty tricky in the back there. Then the left-hand 90, a pretty basic section leading into the whoops, but the whoops are really, really big. I know that you said you struggle with them a little bit. And the sand section, I don't know if that's going to be too much, but I think it's going to be one of those races where it's not so much, it's more of consistency. I think you're going to see a lot of guys casing rhythms, getting legs off, having full-on crashes. These first two, I guess all the rhythms that aren't the Supercross, there's a Supercross triple, a sand section, hard whoops. Like this one seems pretty basic, triple single or double double, triple out here if we get the 450 guys going big. I'm not sure if the 250 guys can do that, either on, off, triple, or triple over quad into this corner. Right hand 90 would get some dualies over the Supercross triple. Flying around here. Oh,
touching the berm a little bit.
Wash your front end right there, looking like Juju. And then this one, triple quad here for the 450s if they want to go big. They might elect to go triple, triple, single, inside, double, then triple. Don't have to hit the brakes. Get a nice run into these very burly whoops here. And then the sand section, maybe not as big as I would have liked it to be. I like them big. So if we get those, if we had it a little bit more like sand rhythm-y, I feel like that would separate. Then a 353 here into the Supercross triple or into the finish line. And we'll see how the sand shapes up. Looks like it's going to be pretty inside heavy, and go to the main event right there. Look at that. SYS, baby. Thank you guys all for coming and supporting us week in and week out. And yeah, watching the best stream on planet Earth right here.
I don't know why my screenshot looks like that. I took a title screenshot and it's like, I'm not really sure what's going on.
It's got like a weird like thing at the top left. Like,
well, it's yeah, but like,
yeah,
why
it
is
goes
it like
down and to the right
screen right here? I'm very confused. Yes. Okay. So let's jump into this, shall we? We got 250 East Heat Race number 1 coming right at you guys right here, right now. So buckle up, Buttercups. We get our first look at these 250 East boys and how they are going to fare here. Yeah, yeah, well, I don't know what to expect from this, but I guess what we can expect is that there's probably going to be a handful of riders tonight that think they're going to either win tonight or have a good night, and they're probably going to end up either not making the main event or having a really bad night. And there's always a few guys that leave the opening round just pissed off that it didn't go their way.
Yeah, you could think you're a top 5 guy with your speed, maybe you're qualifying, and then bad heat, bad start, bad LCQ, all of those things, right? You start making mistakes in the rhythms, maybe the nerves get you. I feel like most of the guys that are towards the top have that they're comfortable enough to where the nerves don't get to them and they can get through. But like we saw it with Seth Carr at round 3 and just different things, you could be, hey, this guy's a title contender, and then you can just have a bad night and miss a race. We've seen Alexis Leclerc and Braden Carter go through LCQs, so this 250 class even a little bit more variability than you see in the 450 class. So yeah, going to be some names that we think are title contenders, qualified top 10, and probably missing the main. Hopefully not too many of them, like to see everyone succeed, but just something you got to watch out for in these short series. You got to come on from round 1 and put yourself in a good spot.
Absolutely, and we're going to find out who gets off to the gate or gets off to a good start here in 250 Heat 1 in just a minute. Kind of funny, people in chat saying we should have Matt Burkeen on, and what I think is funny is Burkeen raised some havoc the last couple of days with some tweets where he said he thinks MXM is better than bikes, and of course all the bikes players go immediately to the defensive mode. Yeah, guys, Matt Burkeen won a championship outdoors in this game in 2016. He was the 2016 250 outdoor national champion in MX Simulator. So
and he started playing like 6 weeks before. He became so good so fast.
He kind of knows his way around this game a little bit, and obviously he's moved on to greener pastures than just being us gamer dorks. But yeah, that's why Burkeen isn't all about MX bikes. He's a sim OG. All right, here we go. First 250 East Heat race of the year. We are set and ready to go. Launching into turn number 1. We're off and running. Who's going to get the all-important hole shot? We're looking at Antonio Vellotti here, but he's going to get pushed back a little bit. Up the inside, it's a Kawasaki. It's Alec Horn on the Nexus Kawasaki 37 machine out front. Emmett Sund up in a second on the number 70. Millie Soderblom is going to jump by both of them. Oh! And he lands on Emmett Sund and goes flying over the berm.
Horn was down,
Horn
too.
was down. We got another rider on a Cowie going backwards. Bodie Parker gets out to the early race lead here on the Yogi Designs program. EVP's Kyle Boardman up in second, Emmett Sund third, and then Cepeda and Antonio Vellotti round out our top 5, and some chaos going on behind them. But 250 East right from the get-go, we're already seeing chaos.
I missed mispronouncing Body Parker's name as he almost bodies himself in the whoops right there, able to wrangle it in, but a great ride by the rider in second. I will learn the gear and all these names very quickly, I promise you that. But Body Parker looking really good, but has some pressure right behind him, cases that jump a little bit. Let's see where these guys elect to go. If they're all going inside, no. Oh, both going outside. I guess there is enough out there for them to lean into. But look at these top 2 instantly gapped away from the field with all those guys going down. But Talon's always I saw in 4th, and someone else fairly close too. So good start to this first 250 heat, and we do see a triple there, Kellen, from the 250s.
Yeah, so it's going to be technical and tricky to see them do it tonight, but I'm certain they're going to find a way. As Emmett Sund, he's taking an alternate line right there. It's actually a pretty nice one, and ends up getting a little bit wayward, almost went down. Regroups nicely though, and is going to keep it tight to Bodie Parker. Emmanuel Cepeda back here in the 3 spot. Talon Zollers 4th. Luca Schwartner rounds out our top 5, and we see that 4 option to the outside. Who is that? That's Ben Nerona, who makes that pass around the outside. Nerona is cooking and trying to get into a top 5 position. Now we see those whoops. Look at the bounce, man. Those things are peaky, and these guys just trying to stay right up on the top end of them.
Yeah, Nerona did actually what I prefer to do in the whoops and sim is to kind of get that skim, and once you start going a little bit like getting some bounce, he hit that third to last whoop and tripled out, so you're essentially eliminating a couple of the whoops. It's really nice when you can do that. It's not always on purpose, but apologize for the lag here.
What the heck was that lag?
I don't know. 4K scans, bro. About to fight everyone. Ben Nerona, though, putting on a good charge here. Looks like he's really good with like the big lines. We'll see what he does here. I don't think any of these guys can go over quad. He looked like he was in between options right there. Now we're getting the speed up. So that was server desync right there. Must have lagged really bad for the racers on the track there. Good to see everyone still up. When it slows down, it has to speed up to catch up. Quads with a Big
into the
whip.
wall. Ben Nerona off the track trying to go for the quad. Going to lose a spot to Millie Soderblom, who also just blitzes by Luca Shortner. Shortner's going to the jump line in the whoops right there. So we've got some alternate options going on. It's weird that you guys are saying no game sound. I see it on my end, but I can try to crank it up a little bit.
I hear it. Maybe it's just a little bit low.
If we do
I can't tell if Soderblom ripped those whoops or if the guy that he was passing was just going so slow that it looked like he was going light speed. But either way, he made the pass and is able to get there. Got one more spot back to, let's see, Nerona. So Nerona's inside, though, Austin Schaefer, and then a pretty big gap back to Antonio Velati and Jonah Baquette. So I guess we'll stay here for a little bit, keep inside this top 9 here and see what these guys are doing. But
yeah, so where is 9th place right now? We got
right
Antonio
here,
Velati
8-9.
is in 8th, I believe, and then Shortner is in 9th. And look at that, he goes for the quad. We talked about that a little bit in the pre-race, that I wasn't sure we'd see some of these guys going for that over-table quad line. I think the 450 certainly will. But yeah, so he quads over the table, then goes for the a little bit lower line here, doubling in. Oh, Jonah Baquette just absolutely lost his testicles on that triple right there, and he's going to try to make a pass in the whoops. Oh, double pass around there, and someone's going off the track right there to the outside as Dylan Dallaire fires into the gap there, goes up into 8th spot, pushes Jonah Baquette back to 9th right after he made it into a transfer spot. But man, these guys are cooking through the whoops and trying to make passes.
Yeah, man. God, these names all of them are so hard. Everyone's from like 6th to 10th. That's a complicated name. Trying to get them down when they go by. Baquette, no, very good run in the whoops. Just not ideal. Got barely past, but who's right behind him?
We've got Lucas
Shortner. So we've seen him get past.
And gets in him. Oh, and he absolutely lays him on the ground. Shortner with the pass into 9th, but he's not out of the woods yet. Antonio Velati trying to close up and bringing Jaden Gomez with him. Gomez was pretty quick in qualifying, so he is hoping to go right through out of this thing as Shortner goes for the triple in line.
Keep an eye on him in the whoops, Kellen. I think that's his weakness. We've seen him get past there. Luckily, a small mistake behind him, but let's see what happens. Just can't even get that double triple there. And then once again, having a slow run through these whoops, that's been his...
That's Dallaire that was down.
Dallaire down.
Dallaire back into the 9th position once again, and here comes Jaden Gomez on that Kawasaki trying to get up the inside. Not quite there just yet. The Nexus number 5 Kawasaki putting the heat on him. It's still Bodie Parker, Emmett Sun, and Emmanuel Cepeda out front, but all the action is in this transfer spot battle right now as Gomez going to work, trying to work on the Canadian Dylan Dallaire, and Antonio Velati is just hanging right tough with these guys, hoping he can pounce at an opportunity. So what is Dallaire doing right now, you think, with less than a minute to go in this race?
I think just trying to keep it on 2 wheels, but he looks like he's pushing. I don't know, man. It's hard. These guys that have been going up and down, we talked about the track being so difficult and tricky. It didn't look like it when they came out cranking out all the big lines right from the start, but these guys are making mistakes over and over and over. We see Dallaire, though. I like the triple single or even the double double to the inside. Gives them a nice easy double triple and a good run for the whoops. So Dallaire chasing Schwartner, who had a really good run through the whoops that time, finally got it. So not easy, but Dallaire needs to just move up 1 or 2 more spots and just keep it on 2, because you have 10th, 11th, and a lot of guys that you can drop back with one mistake. Moving up towards the front, though. Oh, battle for that. Emmett Sun barely gets out around railing that outside, able to keep it clean as Cepeda dives up the inside there. See, any of these guys going for the quad, I think they're all kind of going for this inside line in the 250 class.
Yeah, I just noticed that Bodie Parker had been switched out of the lead. He didn't lose too much time. He's still hanging back there in 3rd as, Emmett Sun went for a bit of a ride in the whoops right there. They're coming to the white flag right now, so this is actually a great battle for the heat race victory. Can Emmett Sun hold off Emmanuel Cepeda to win this first heat race of 250 East? White flag in the air. He's got 1 lap left to go to try to make it happen. Pushing the envelope to the outside in the sand. Sun checks back up to go to the inside. And you see Parker there exiting the sand in the background. Like I said, they were all pretty tight. I was going to go up there and watch this battle for the win anyway, but now we actually have a good one. Can Sun hold on? No, he can't. Almost goes over the bars. Cuts back up underneath. Crosses over. Gets into his rear tire and almost goes down. But it's not over yet. We got half a lap to go. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, tricky sections coming up. He just got right. Barely touched knobbies. They touched tips there going, and he was able to keep it on 2. Emmanuel Cepeda, 3-3-1 to the inside. If he gets this clean, and we see him through the whoops, watch out, though, for a lapper. He's got to change his line. Sun doesn't have to stop. Drive through the whoops along the outside. What's going to happen?
Sun down hard in the whoops and right in front of Bodie Parker, who just narrowly avoids him. But Cepeda, oh, whoa, we got some serious server issues. Uh-oh, this is a problem.
Oh, no.
That's a big problem right there. What just happened? Nothing? Did the server just fully crash? Oh, dear, this isn't good.
I do like the conversation about the start rut because I did want to talk about that. Oh, here it is. We're back.
And we just missed out on a hellacious battle for the win. Bodie Parker comes up just short. 1 second back. Soderblom, Sun, Zollers, Schaefer, Nerona, Dallaire, and Jaden Gomez does make it in. So for whatever reason, the server just totally timed out because it's not even updating results. You don't even see the results on our screen right now. So not sure what's going on. But,
Darf said server's fine, but it's weird. It's weird. Your internet's good. I feel like earlier, you normally don't see slow down and speed up in spectating. I feel like that's as a rider, but that's exactly what we saw.
Well, you don't see that happen in spectating where everybody stops and goes invis. Like that's not a me thing. That's I mean, unless I'm having some serious internet issues right now. But
yeah. I mean, you got the supercomputer.
I'm hardwired in. I can show you guys my up and down. It's pretty burly, but we'll change the graphic settings and come back in and see if that helps it at all. I genuinely don't think that was me, but apparently it was. So we'll try to figure it out and see what's going on here.
Yeah, we saw the last lap pass because the lapper. We seen it. That was MX Bikes. Dude, I like MX Bikes now. Starting to like it. Not for racing, not for this, but for me playing it, my thumbs don't
Here's
work
for everyone who
anymore.
says it's me.
Ooh, flex.
It's not me. It's not me.
6 MS to LA's nasty.
So, yeah. Swallow. Well, we missed the end of 250 Heat 1 there. Apologies. But yes, we are going to roll into 250 Heat 2 coming up next. I can give you guys a rundown here in just a minute. I want to get the graphic changed over so that we can see what's going on. Jack Mark, Devin Davis, Joseph Pilsner, Austin Partolo, Caden Pankow, Johnny Padani, Matt Cromie, Xander Brion, Aaron Rockefeller, Ethan Gurst, Jeff Cooper, Evan Cormack, Jared Gummison, Droptail Ricky.
Hell yeah.
I don't know who that is. Riley Hewen, Dominic Paolini, Cade Matherly, Will Now, Tyler Shields, and Zhao Victor going to the line in this one. 20 riders heading to the gate, and we're going to...
Did I hear Devin Davis?
Devin Davis dropping back down for 250
allowed?
East.
Isn't there like some rule after 20 years of racing in the 450 class you can't go back?
I guess. I mean, if he hasn't pointed out, I don't know if he ever pointed out, or maybe they just said, whatever, dude, you're like Chiz, man. You can do whatever you want.
Because he's been in 450s for so long, and I don't think, because I could race 250s if I wanted to, holding on to my pro card as long as I can. But like I said, you saw me, I couldn't complete a lap last night. So Devin Davis is going to be interesting to see what he does on the 250. It's weird because it seems like has he had trouble making the mains this year? I thought he goes back and forth. Sometimes he's a top 10 guy, and then sometimes he can't make mains. So
yeah, I mean, he's definitely had some troubles making mains this year. No question about it. Like, he's had some moments where he's been pretty close and some moments where he's not close at all. So I think maybe 250 East just to try to revitalize the old young bones.
There's nothing better than like getting a fifth when you haven't had a good result. You know, if you can go down or get on the podium or something at one of these races, because like the difference between 450 and 250 class is so different. As long as he can ride the bike, he's good enough to get a good start, ride consistently, and end up in fifth, and just keep it on two wheels. So I mean, Byron Downen, former series champion, just jumped in the YouTube chat and said some MX Sim careers are almost old enough to have a driver's license, which brings up an interesting point that Devin Davis might be going to the gate right now with players that were not alive when he made his pro debut in this game, which is really weird. I mean, but that's the reality. He started at least 2012 Supercross because I was 2012 East and I came over. He might have even been end of 2011. So yeah, if you're 13 years old, who here has qualified for a night show in Sim this year that is born after April 2012?
Is that his first main event? I thought his first main event was like
that was
January.
like mine. So his probably January.
Yeah, my first main event was May of 2012. So
big slow guy.
yeah, I don't know. Poor D Davis. We're just absolutely bodying him before we drop the gate here in 250 East number 2.
We're like the same age, right? Like we started within 6 months, so like that's of each other.
All right, here we go, folks. 250 East heat number 2 on the gate. Hopefully, any of the server issues or my lag issues have been sorted. We dropped the frame rate or dropped the game resolution down a little bit, so we should be good. Here we go. 250 East heat number 2 is off and running here in Tampa. Right hand first corner. Who's going to get there first? Poking the nose out is Partolo on the 14. Does he control it? No. Johnny Padani just gets his nose in there to grab the whole shot. Partolo to the inside runs him high and takes the lead out of turn number 2. So your fastest qualifier out front right away.
Yeah, this is exactly what we expected here and exactly what he needs to do. I would not be surprised to see him run away right here, but it looks like, ooh, Ethan Gerst just got the business right there. Dooley's right in front of him. Ethan Gerst drops back to 4th, though. Got a 2 for passes. Xander Brion and whoever that was almost
Padani,
got into it.
Mr.
Johnny
Tsunami off the track. We got riders checking each other. Padani's going for the run in the whoops. Blocks over in front of Matt Cromie, who has to check up to not run to the back of him and almost goes down all on his own. Tyler Shields makes the pass to go through around him. Got to get Ethan Gerst to get off the number 9 machine. He is not number 9. Very frustrating when people don't run their correct numbers. But it is Padani who moves back into the 3rd spot. Partolo back to 2nd now as Xander Brion has taken over the race lead as the ShopFreddy.com Kawasaki goes to the front. The 762 looking like a fresh triple-digit guy out here. But we know Brion's been around here. Partolo back to the lead. Brion back to the inside trying to pass him. Back crosses over and gets the pass done. Nice move.
Yeah, I think that did a good job of showing you how much faster the triple is right there, but you do have to, if you have to hit it to the outside, if you can triple into the inside and get the step on, that's going to be the ideal line by a long shot, but Partolo having to go outside there was able to leave the inside open. Brion jumped there. Brion, he ran it out! Oh, that was almost so cool. And now you're in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th.
He's out of a transfer, and he's in the Davalos bale.
Later, Whisker Biscuit.
Double fall off, gets dragged to the ground.
If that's me, I'm disconnecting instantly.
Meanwhile, something happened to Partolo right after that because now Ethan Gerst is out front. So Partolo, he's gone backwards a little bit as well. In fact, he's now down to 8th. I'm not sure what happened there, but that is interesting. So now it's Gerst from Tyler Shields, Johnny Padani 3rd, Zhao Victor in 4th, Hugh in 5th, and Matt Cromie now in 6th. Let's go on board with the Chrome Dog and see what it looks like from his perspective here trying to chase down the leaders.
This is Cromie Chaos about 10 years later, but instead of him creating chaos, it's just the 250 class. So we'll see what happens here. This is what it looks like when you're P6. You got off to a pretty good start. Everyone's really close here, but I'm assuming you're going to see some chaos ensue here. Cromie misses that rhythm, able to get out of it cleanly though. Double, triple, and let's see how burly these whoops look. They look huge. He's going for the 3rd gear lug tactic. Gets through him very nice and clean. Not the fastest way to get through, but hey, if you're on 2 wheels, that's faster than doing what we saw earlier and ending up in the Davalos bales. These guys getting that triple easily. 1 minute 0.5 after 1 minute 0.7. He's nice and consistent, and yeah, jumping way into that outside sand surfing, and that's where Johnny Padani just really likes to get barreled out there.
Johnny Tsunami
Padani
out there
getting pitted,
dropping off the lip. All right, back to our lead battle, which is good now. Johnny Padani, Tyler Shields have gotten around Gerst, but Gerst trying to fight back to the inside of Shields, showed him a wheel, doesn't quite get there. Now he's dealing with Zhao Victor. Look at Zhao Victor to the inside, not going to make the pass just yet. All these guys swing to the outside to triple in. Shields jumped off the track. Gerst quads to the outside. Is it good enough for a pass? Not quite, and he's going to have to check up and double in right here, so he's going to lose another position as Zhao Victor goes by, and Gerst able to hop up on top. Nicely done. Look at this battle for the lead, though. Tyler Shields versus Johnny Tsunami. Here we go, folks. Strap in. This one is going to be a good one. 2 minutes and a lap to go.
Yeah, these guys looking, let's see what happens here. Oh, jumps into the bales a little bit, slows down. Padani's going to get a little bit of breathing room, but he's got Gerst right behind him. I don't think so. I think that's his teammate. Can't tell what the number 9 machine's going on, but Padani going good, and we will talk about that rut a little bit later in this race. Padani's getting a little bit of breathing room, but it's tightening up behind him for the 2, 3, 4 spots as João Victor goes outside, tries to make a move. These guys kind of rubber banding a little bit with the different lines there in that inside-outside in that 90.
Yeah, we got 3 riders nose to tail right here. They're led by Shields. They're chased by Ethan Gerst, but João Victor is trying to make a pass to get up into that 2 spot. Thought about an inside line right there. Backs out of the challenge. It's really tricky to downside that double in and get the 3 on into the whoops. As Victor, he's bouncing a little bit. Nice save right there. Man, these whoops have been so critical tonight, and it seems like if you can make it through them 15 minutes straight, you are probably going to be good. Lead battle heating up again. Shields back on the case, trying to get Padani out front. Padani cases the finish line. Shields to the outside, takes the race lead. What a move.
Yeah, Shields has showed some speed in that second part of the track. The whoops to the finish line, just made a small mistake before. So let's see what Padani can do as we're getting this top 5 now into a very close spot. If you guys make any mistakes, looks like it's spread out a little bit. But if Shields makes any mistake, Padani's going to be right on him. Oh, and he tries to jump across the corner. He hits the pixie stick and goes down. That's a classic move right there.
Interesting decision. I'm not sure where that one came from, but yeah, Tyler Shields down after trying to double across the inside. We haven't seen that line at all.
He's had to have done it, right?
I guess, right?
Because you don't go for it.
After you get the lead, would you go for it instead of trying to make a pass?
Yeah, not really ideal. I feel like that's something you do when you're like in 4th with like a big gap, but I mean, try to get that thing dialed for the main event. I do think it's sick. If you can jump across the corner with the pixie stick, stay on the track, like that's really cool. But man, the fact that he hit that just gives Johnny Padani so much breathing room here as you see him come across the line with a 4.5 second gap over Ethan Gerst, Riley Hewen, and then Tyler Shields back there. This is a lot spread out, and this is not exactly what we expected. We expected for Pardlo to kind of get up here and check out. He's all the way back in 8th place, and Padani is the other P name that is running away with this thing. So Pardlo, your fastest qualifier. Let's see if he can make up any ground, if he's settled in or if he keeps making mistakes, because he's not too far from being out. That's 9th, 10th, and 11th right there on the screen behind him.
Yeah, well, so he's moved a couple spots forward. This is Will now in the final transfer spot.
Fake news.
And then Joseph Pilsner in 10th right behind him. Jack Mark outside looking in. How about this name being outside of a transfer spot right now? But what I was going to say is critically, Padani out front crossed the line with about 2 seconds left on the clock. So he's slightly slower. This would be the final lap right now. Matherly's got a couple laps to work with to try to get to Will Now. And Will Now, he's going to work on Jared Gummison up ahead of him. The Defenders All Fun number 57 Honda as he jumps into the whoops. Now riding for the Phil's Ski and Snowboard Gas program. We got 3 or 4 riders going through the sand together as well. So we got some fun activities going on up here as well. So any one of these guys, if they make a mistake on this final lap, might not be transferred to the main event. This is critical time. Look at how close this is.
Oh my God, there's 6 guys in the sand, and then behind them there's 3 guys battling right there for the transfer spot. This is insane. Blowing that corner is Ethan Gerst. Oh, and a tip over in the corner. João Victor is going to get caught up in that. He is going to be able to go by Jared Gummis lapper. That's a bummer for him. If you're a lapper, bro, that's like the worst time to be in the inside rut right there. Well, now though, going back after it, I don't even know. Okay, so he is still on the bubble. Got some cowies looking to pressure him behind, but he's just got to stay on 2 wheels. This is Jack Mark trying to put some pressure. That's a lapper still doing front flips. You got to get out of here, bro. Who are you? Here.
Meanwhile, up front, let's give him his due. Johnny Padani takes the win in this heat race. Hewen 2nd, Shields 3rd, Pardlo 4th, João Victor 5th, Gerst 6th, Paolini 7th, Gummison 8th, Will Now 9th. Here comes Jack Mark. Does he go for the send into the final corner to try to make this pass? He's just going to go around the corner nicely.
Oh
Will
my
Now
God!
went defensive, and it's so close, but it's Jack Mark by a 1/10 of a second getting the job done on Will Now. I guess if you're Will Now, you had to ride that defensively, but he left the opportunity wide open for him to go around the outside and triple in.
I think maybe he didn't have like an ideal spotter or someone maybe in the server if they were a little bit behind. I think even with that drive in the sand, it seemed like he had enough to attack that outside, but man, he just laid it over into that rut, perfectly railed it and got that triple. So much acceleration out of that corner there. That was impressive. Just a little bit too defensive by Will, and he's unable to make that. I think you still got to commit for the triple and say whatever happens, happens. Maybe I get up first if he hits me, because you see how much slower that not tripling out there.
Well, you know what Tyler Shields did out front, Awood?
Wait, did he get in on cuts? 824?
Yeah.
I think
Did
he got
get
in. He got in
Okay,
on
he
cuts,
got in on
by
cuts.
like 0.7 seconds. So
You know what Tyler Shields did out front, though?
he was trying. Oh. He did hit the pixie stick, and that made me very happy. Almost recreated my favorite drop right there. That was like when the pixie sticks first started. I think when they first came in, skin like that, and it only took. I think that was like an Anaheim 2 or San Diego, something early on that we got that. Man, so lost on cuts. Will Canal to the main.
Will Canal to the main. Wow.
iMoto said Jack Mark has never ran a race without cuts. I'm sure he has some. He got it.
I'm sure he has some. Oh,
Ethan,
man.
bro.
Poor Jack Mark getting bodied in chat. D Davis getting bodied before the race even starts. We're just taking names out here, man. This is brutal.
Listen, if you're out there, you got to be able to take it. Chromie's never going to leave Chromie Chaos, like Byron said in chat, though. Also, thank you, everyone, for watching on YouTube. Chat is popping off. I feel like YouTube chat is always a little bit behind. It's always kind of a little bit behind the Twitch, so I really appreciate everyone coming out. We got really strong showings on both platforms, everyone watching in their preferred spot. So thank you guys all for being here. We actually have... Oh, we got a lot more on YouTube. YouTube's
crushing it right now, dude. If viewership on YouTube was you know what, dude, they're absolutely crushing it right now. I tell you
they
that. Oh man.
They are.
See, this is why I want to have a members only section so I can get people in on inside jokes like that.
Yeah, you'd have to have like a bleep word where you could bleep off one stream and have another stream where it's just
man.
Get loose.
All right, folks, here we go. First 450 heat race of the night. And of course, we got to key in on the man, Jacob Hubbard, whether or not he's going to get the whole shot in this one. We got the 250 West guys moving up, and the 450 stablemates are here again. Off we go, and Hubbard gets a beauty of a jump. Will he control it to the inside? Yes, he will. Jacob Hubbard going to come through and get the whole shot. He's got his teammate Braden Carter right with him in the 2 spot on the 1. And then, some chaos behind. Trevor Burns trying to go to the inside, make a pass. Doesn't get it done. Frank Jackson is going to make it a field ski and snowboard. 1, 2, 3 out front as we got the 2 teammates trying to get away from the rest of the field in the lead.
Yeah, color me surprised that Jacob Hubbard got another hole shot, but just automatic for him. Easy triple quad to the outside. Sends it a little bit too far to the right, and he's off the track. Gonna get the double triple back in. Braden Carter to the lead and a great run through the whoops. That seems to be a strong point. I feel like Trevor Burns, though, sending it, trying to make the pass back. Wow, he is on rails. He got front end lock in the first section, landed sideways on his bars, and got up and was still able to get third. So Trevor Burns is living on a prayer right now, and he's just trying to send it to the front and show that he can battle with these guys.
Yeah, he's mixing it up right away.
Obviously.
Yep, Frank Jackson, Chase Blakely, Pablo Vial. First we've seen of Pablo Vial this year, and for whatever reason, Brandon Larson is lagging up a storm. No, he didn't go east because Varize isn't racing east. So he's got to be home right now. Why is he lagging so bad? I mean, this is your guy. Would we got McDonald's internet going on, or what's the problem?
I don't know. Yeah, his internet probably sucks. I don't know. He's out there.
Poor B-Lards.
Is he at home?
Doolies! Jake's
not the
absolutely
best, but
tossing it like a wet salad. We got Rasmus Balzer right up behind him as well, and this is the 7-8 spots on the track. Nico Marchini right now rounds out the transfer positions. Outside looking in, Caleb Hall, Pablo Vial, who we just talked about, Cassius Woods back here, Colby Eaglin, who won last week, is also back here, so this is a bit of a surprise. Anybody else back here lurking? Well, Ev Moof having a rough go, former champ Jack Haley having a rough time back here as well, but Eaglin not going through right away would be a big one.
Yeah, I mean, Eaglin, you just showed us your consistency. You're good at starts, and you just crush it. Oh my!
What's going on over there? We got 5 guys going in the corner.
There's 5 guys in one corner, and man, you know I love it when 5 guys are touching tips with each other. Nothing better.
So we're getting absolutely cooked on SMX comments. Balzer goes for the quad at the inside, gets by Spieth. Nice pass right there. And everyone on these 450s right now are absolutely crushing it on the triple. Chase Blakely jumping off the track. Balzer quads up the inside of him and lands on him and just comes to an immediate stop. Blakely just bodied him to the ground, though. I don't know how Blakely didn't even get messed up from that. He's going to have to jump the whoops, though, because he couldn't quite get the rhythm line in. Going to get passed by a few dudes and maybe stand up Frank Jackson in the corner in the process, but Chase Blakely built like a brick shithouse out here, just making sure that no one can land on him and, put him on the deck.
Yeah, don't you just hate it when you're trying to go inside and you just got Balzer just sliding right up inside you? Horrible. Taking you out, not even going to get the chance. For Chase B, though, with a great ride, honestly. I don't feel like we've seen this since he got off the Jason Anderson replica machine. Hasn't had any really like strong rides. I feel like I haven't seen him kind of show out. So Chase B looking good here. He's got a lot of guys behind him. Look at that quad up the inside. Oh, Frank Jackson cuts down Dooley's. Oh, Frank Jackson able to go. Nico Marchini showing us a great little battle there. I love that. When people have really good racecraft, someone wadded right there. When you have good racecraft in the 450 class, the power that they have, as look at this drive through the whoops, Marchini looking like Carter. It's just so much fun to watch the racing. That doesn't look like Carter. He doesn't fall like that. But isn't that like the best? You can cut up the inside. You can cut down, right? You can block past people, and you got that sweet little battle for about 3 sections before someone dies.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun going on back here right now, and man, I'll tell you what, that corner a few turns back there, Frank Jackson turned on a dime and left a nickel change dicing up Nico Marchini. I love to see cut unders like that and good battles all the way through. Chase Blakely comes up short on the triple in and goes down. He was running in the 4 spot, and he's going to lose several positions. It's still Carter way out front from Spieth, Burns, Jackson, Balzer, Vial, Hall, Blakely, and Marchini. So this is actually a transfer spot battle going on right here. Marchini and Eaglin finally just made it through. So Eaglin now up into the top 9 position, as he was in 13th last time we checked in with him. So about a minute left in this race, and he's finally made it there. But it just shows how critical it is in these 450 heat races to get a good start, because if you get stuck back here, you are definitely dealing with it.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that, but I just saw Jacob Hubbard scroll across the screen in 13th, so not a very good showing from him. But after his whole shot and leading the first lap, but Colby Eaglin, man, you have to transfer through. You can't go to the LCQ. It's getting too late into the season. You got to have this stuff figured out to be winning a race and then missing it the next time. We've seen a couple top guys miss, and it's not ideal. So Colby Eaglin, you got to use that consistency, take your bad start, fix it, and then show back up for the main. And I think he'll be all right as long as he gets through here, regroup. You got about an hour or whatever to kind of wait for your main event. So Colby Eaglin's just got to stay here in this spot. Don't really push it. Wait for a couple guys to go down and get himself safely in the main event.
We've seen this start tonight. It seems to be a little inside dependent. So if you're Eaglin, even a couple more passes could be crucial, just trying to get inside of the box. He's got the 21 machine of Nico Marchini and the 45 of Caleb Hall right in front of him. Going to get a freebie right there, as down in the whoops was Frank Jackson. So he's up to 8th. Can he get 7th? Can he get 6th even? There's a few more spots up on offer even ahead of that. And there is 2 laps to go this time. Braden Carter way out in front. Already checked in before time expired, which has now expired. We were past the 6-minute mark. Eaglin is just working, trying to make this pass on Marchini. Caleb Hall finally leaves the door open and gives 2 spots. Oh! Marchini slid out. Eaglin just kind of stood him up and was able to go by. Jackson goes by. Marchini's now off the track, and John Heilman has found his way into a transfer spot. So there you go, John Heilman. Didn't even need to fight for it. Now Marchini's going to go back because Frank Jackson just went down.
Yeah, it's a bummer when you see that, but following too closely, I was going to say I like the position when you're behind like a set of 2 guys, and then a little bit further up there's another set of 2 guys. You know that they're kind of in a battle. They're thinking about someone the whole time, and it kind of lets you kind of sit back there and be patient. But good for him to get through, and Marchini with a mistake right there, able to get it back in and be in a transfer spot. So we got 1 full lap for these guys to go back here on this transfer spot. They haven't even hit the finish line yet, but the white flag has gone out to the leader. So Marchini, 1 more lap, 58 seconds left for you to hold on and try to ride this thing through. He is not number 21. That's Chase Blakely. So
yeah,
good bike skins there.
I think he's using his EU skins. But yes, Jacob Hubbard hanging out in the background there, trying to keep these guys honest. And any number of these riders could make a mistake on this last lap, even up to Eaglin, who's now made it into 6th. He's still right behind Caleb Hall. Then Trevor Burns has slipped back here. John Heilman. We got a lapped rider in between these guys, and the lapper almost gets into Burnsy right there. And then Hubbard. Ooh, Hubbard had actually made it through. So Marchini went backwards, and he has made it in. Meanwhile, up front, Braden Carter wins the heat race. Easily done in the end. Pretty far away, actually, from Balzer. 4.8. Balzer went 55 flat on the last lap. Absolutely cooked a lap together. Jake Spieth ends up third. Vial fourth. Caleb Hall fifth. Eaglin gets to sixth. Burns seventh. Heilman eighth. Hubbard is ninth. Anybody close enough? No. Frank Jackson not close enough. So Jacob Hubbard lived the ups and downs of this race to a T. He went from hole shot to 13th and ends up in 9th to transfer to the main event.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you're in the main. That's all that matters. I guess I was talking shit on him dropping back all the way from that hole shot, but man, that's pretty impressive. The most impressive thing I'm seeing right now is if you look at the fastest lap times of the race, you see Braden Carter at a 56.0, which is faster than he even qualified with. But then somehow, some way, you see Rasmus Balzer P2 in this race with a 55 flat.
Yep.
1 second faster than that. 1.1 seconds faster than the fastest qualifier. What did he? How?
That's why when it happened, when he lit it up on the screen, I'm like, what the hell was that? Yeah, he just went way faster than qualifying, way faster than anybody else in this heat race. What did he do?
He just took his last name out of his pants and just freaking dropped it on these guys' foreheads.
Oh my gosh! Someone in the stream chat said this stream is getting gay, and now we're borderline getting there.
There's nothing wrong with
say it.
Getting your salad tossed. What's your favorite? What's your favorite dressing to have your salad tossed in? Mine starts with a C.
I like a good balsamic vinaigrette.
No. Mine starts with the letter C.
Oh man,
Caesar.
All right, so yes,
my
we've got
favorite.
450 Heat 2 coming up next. Caden Speck, Evan Holt, Spencer Turley, Jackson Lindsay, Luke Sullivan, Race Cobble, Brandon Cocroft, Braden Castellaneta, Ash Deering, Jeremy Siebold, Blake O'Brien, Seth Shirley, Tyler Lang, Braden Tharp, Killiam Ortiz, Tyler Show, Tanner Rogers, Cooper Hunt, Seth Carr, and Alexis Leclerc. And before we get this heat race underway, Leclerc 35th in qualifying. Does he go right in, or do we have problems?
Who?
Leclerc.
He'll be fine. You don't think he's gonna get a half decent start?
I didn't get timed out. Brady Stanley in the chat was just roasting me for still timing out in 2025, and then I didn't time out this time.
Well, you know what's crazy is the difference between model geometric detail on 10, or is it the geometric or the other one, the graphics?
Yeah.
10 and 9 is like 80% performance difference. Like it doesn't go at like a tenth of the time. It's like full graphics or you're like middle low.
Yeah.
Like it's so dumb.
It is dumb, but welcome to MX Simulator. We've been dealing with this since 2007. All right, here we go, folks. It is time to go for the final heat race of the night, 450 heat number 2. And of course, this one goes for 6 minutes plus a lap, just like the other ones have. And the top 9 transfer to the main event. If you haven't been with us so far, now you have been caught up on what we're about to do. So I'm not sure what is going on. Is someone about to time out? 92 machine. Who's the 92 machine? 92 of Brandon Cocroft. Looks like he is about to get yeeted from the server down to 4 seconds. And he's gone. Brandon Cocroft timed out. So let's see if they are not probably going to restart this one. Yeah, should we? Here we go. Later, Whisker Biscuit. He's gone. Here we go. 450 heat. Oh, nope. Do we got red flag? We got a red flag.
That's,
man.
You make the sight lap. Something happened. He could have been changing his gear to be the right way. Someone just did a sick wheelie into your living room. And, it's all right.
So do we have a docking system? Like if a dude goes around.
Should he be docked for having red flag? Has he got to start back row?
No, maybe.
Okay.
He might. I wonder if he'll lose his gate pick if because they probably run the scripts again. That was pretty cool. Whoever did that in the sand. People don't like the stream right now.
People don't like the stream? I think the stream's great, man. We got the most viewers we've had all night. And we get to see this final 450 heat race absolutely cook off here in just a minute. Oh, they do. I mean, you guys tuned in for the show, so we're here to give it to you.
Chance just asked if it was typically that fruity, and then Imo just said, no, it's about normal.
It's a little mild, he said, actually.
Yeah.
It's a little on the mild side. We haven't spiced it up enough yet. Listen, if you guys weren't with us in, like, what, 2018 outdoors when we had our shirt off and we're yelling Skyzor #1 with a pit board, like, that's when we were... That's when we got
the loosest I've ever been.
That was the loosest stream we probably had.
That was like, I think I woke up or even later that day. I think because I stayed at your house, I don't think I know who won the race the next day, which is like a standard, like me going to actual Supercross.
Yeah.
But, you know, it happens. There's some good times.
Yep.
We will, Daytona, we will find one. We will, it's hard because you're a dad of 2 kids now, but we will try to do a drinking stream this year. We have to.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't have to get on a plane tomorrow, like most of my work is done this week so far, so I wouldn't have been too opposed to it. But I got to get on a plane to go to Tampa tomorrow. And I've done this in the past where I had to fly across the country and we got wasted the night before. And it was not a fun flight.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
I've done that too. I mean, I think, is this race red flagged or not?
Yeah, no, this is not. We're just sitting here waiting.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
We're just watching Leclerc do his business.
I think the best part for like a drinking stream is have someone who's like our friend that doesn't want to, because if it gets to a point where I'm incapacitated and then like I slur, I can just be like adding input like 15% of the time, and then it can be carried by you and the other person.
Yeah, I mean,
like Shaq was fully sober when we did that.
Well, we had some streams where we were pretty much just slurring as we were talking the whole time.
There's some bad times where I listen back and I'm like, you mumble already. You can't even freaking say a word.
Oh, here we go. Final 450 heat race of the night. 30 car is sideways. Look at Leclerc way outside. Terrible in qualifying. Can Spencer Turley get a whole shot? Here we go. We're off and running. Turley actually came out pretty good, but it's up the inside. Seth Carr gets to the corner first, pushes out, and gets the whole shot. Luke Sullivan's right there on the 11. Triple to the inside. Tanner Rogers tries to get the lead. Doesn't quite get it. We also have a Suzuki out here. Blake O'Brien getting up in the mix with a good start on the 54. He moves into third. But out front, it is the 6 of Seth Carr.
Seth Carr with a great start. I mean, I don't know what to do with him, Kellen. I don't know if I should, like, oh, we expected this. Like, is he going to crash in the whoops? Like, what's going on? Because he qualified decent, but he's always been a good starter with flashy speed and no consistency. And then
and then he goes down right as we're talking about
in the whoops.
O'Brien goes to the race lead, and we'll give him a little bit of sunshine here because I can't remember the last time Blake O'Brien was out front. This is pretty cool for the Elite Decal
old?
Suzuki. He's a bit older. We've seen him around for a while.
Been around for a while? Okay, that's what I'm trying to make sure. And I feel like on the Elite Decals for a while. But really cool seeing that banana up front. Kickstart Maximus crank. He's kicking the cranks all right as he's up front, and he just got that factory transmission. And let's see if he can hold on to it right here. Got some pressure from behind, but he looks like he's going to be clear. Only 3 guys in this shot. So Luke Sullivan, though, no slouch. New SYS content creator. Good to see him up front with a good start in this 450 heat number 2. Pressuring for the lead. Let's see what he can do. Not as many guys going for the quad to the outside. Don't think it's worth it.
I think it is actually faster to go triple single, double in, and then you get a straight run into the whoops.
That triple in before the whoops, I think, is the biggest part.
Yeah, if you can triple in before the whoops, but it's so tough to quad and still get that triple in, and then you're carrying a lot of speed into the whoops that you don't necessarily know that if you want. Your suspension's not unloaded yet from doubling out, so yeah, I think it's a little bit safer to do what they're doing as Sully goes around the outside trying to rip the sand to the inside of O'Brien for the race lead. O'Brien goes defensive and holds it. Nice run here for Blake O'Brien, man. Working the business against these guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking really good. He's got, ooh, look at that. Jumps off the side of the track. Ideal line, though. The cuts aren't probably going to get him for that one. Triple quad to the inside. Luke Sullivan takes over the lead after jumping off the track. Doolies! As we get these guys side by side over the triple, but Luke Sullivan going to try to pull away. Bad line here, Kellen. What's going to happen?
Look at O'Brien going to cut back up underneath. He's pretty much alongside of him as we jump into the whoops. It's all about who gets the better run. Sully on top of them very nicely and very cleanly through. O'Brien hopped a little bit, and Sully out to the race lead. And yes, as you mentioned a little bit, shout out Luke Sullivan, who is now on board here, Start Your Systems content creation side as he comes up a little bit short right there. Oh, Doolies is. They're like touching each other over the finish line jump. Not the way that they probably want to be either, as Luke Sullivan goes up the inside again, trying to take the lead back. Oh, and this time he pushes O'Brien out and gets the job done, then slides out, and O'Brien gets it right back. Back and forth we go.
Yeah, Luke Sullivan is not able to keep it on track here. A couple slide outs. Look at that. Tripling into the bales again, not completely off the track. Doesn't get the low line for the speed that he got last lap around, but still able to get the triple quad. Seems like he's a little bit faster here. Oh my God, maximally cranking that whip over the Supercross triple. This guy is dirty. I love his style right here. Jumping off the track as well, but getting the optimal line over that 90-degree corner, but he doesn't have the same whoop speed as Luke Sullivan does. Looks a little bit better, right? But you see that shot, and he's just so much faster there. Luke Sullivan, exactly what you'd expect from our SMX champion here. But Blake still holding on for one more lap as they come across 350 into the race so far, so a couple minutes plus a lap to go. This battle is far from over.
Yeah, O'Brien is just hanging tough and making Luke Sullivan work for it. I love to see this from a guy that we don't get to see up front all that often. So Sully just back to the drawing board once again. Meanwhile, Seth Carr in fourth just ran the fastest lap of the race at a 56.046. Just puts into perspective how ridiculous that 55-second lap time that Rasmus Balzer laid down was. And even O'Brien switches it up and is able to get the over-table quad line, pull back away even from Sullivan that much more. Here is Deering dealing with that number 6 machine of Seth Carr, and Carr is starting to wind it up a little bit. Took him a minute to finally get the ball rolling, but after getting out front for a minute and then going backwards, he's found his way to the front again, and let's see if he can make a pass here on Ash Deering. Actually, I'm going to not follow this because we got to change to the lead. Sullivan gets it done after the whoops. We just missed it. I was waiting for the pass to happen, and it finally did. And after that, Seth Carr followed suit right behind as well and moves into third place. So we missed both passes. I am straight up worse than NBC right now, but that's okay. Luke Sullivan out front here in Tampa.
Yeah, Luke Sullivan just has his whoop speed is elite compared to Blake O'Brien. I feel like if you put him next to someone like a Braden Carter or someone that we saw absolutely crushing the whoops in the first heat, maybe it's, it might not even be there, but you see it against different people as Blake O'Brien down in this second rhythm section on the track, so he loses that second place spot for the first time. He's outside. He's still on the podium, though. There's a pretty wide gap, but he has 2 guys right behind him for the top 5 spot, but it's still well inside the transfer. Now he's the one who can't keep it on 2 wheels. And yeah, the whoop speed difference between the top guys is just different. Did he clip him?
Yeah,
I think he clipped him. Seth Shirley trying to jump by, just barely hit his rear wheel and went over the bars.
T-Lane goes by.
Bummer
that
for him.
is Cooper Hunt
and
going
that's Turley.
by. Yeah, there is Turley right behind.
Spencer Turkey, what's up, my dude?
Spencer Turley right behind Seth Shirley now. And then Cooper Hunt rounds out our transfer position. So there is Hunt. And then right behind him, Seabolt, who's made the switch over to District Designs. Him and Braden Tharp both jumped this week as we have team hopping galore still going on in 2025. It still happens. Don't worry about it. And so now Seabolt trying to work on his teammate Cooper Hunt. They're actually probably going to both try to work together and go get Spencer Turley ahead of them. So this could be a fun transfer spot battle here in the final 2 laps of this race.
Yeah, I mean, these guys both pretty good, but both making small mistakes. You can see the differences in their lines. They're right there. Doesn't hit the quad. So Turley loses 2 spots as Hunt goes up the inside, but man, he didn't even hit the quad either right in front of him, but still was able to get the spot. That's how bad Turley messed up that rhythm, but he's quad up. Sitting on the sidelines, listen to the pipe, triple in, double.
Jeremy Seabolt. Seabolt a champion. Seabolt fighting right back to get the pass done on Shirley. Oh, that from off the track. That is T-Lane coming back on the 5. So now T-Lane sandwiching Spencer Turley here, and Turley not going to be able to get the line in right here, so he's going to have to check up and lose that position. Tyler Lang into the final transfer spot. Now it's time for Turley to lock in right here.
Yeah, man, that was kind of crazy. T-Lang, the amount of speed that he got through the sand with just a good drive, getting up on that perfect little rhythm in those rollers shows you how much more the power can pull on these 450s here in Sim. Turley just gets dropped. Bummer for him, but man, some of these guys you see when they just have elite speed, you wonder how that 55.0 came out from Rasmus Balzer, but I think it's just putting all those things, having that optimal line in every section.
Well, you want to talk about 55.0? It got tight up front as Sullivan wins, but Seth Carr ran a 55.0 on the second to last lap to almost get there. Then we got O'Brien during 4th, Hunt 5th. Seabold 6th, Lang 7th. Turley is now 8th, actually, and he's going down. So Seth Surley checks up to not get into him. T-Lang is down. Is Turley still going to get up in a transfer spot? Race Cobble is going to try to slide by him. Turley has to get back going the other direction on the track as Tharp shoots through into 9th, and the final transfer on the final lap of the race, he goes from 13th all the way up to 9th to get the job done. Wow.
13th to 9th for your last week's winner in the 250 West class, stepping up. Race Cobble had it gifted to him with Spencer Turley laying on the ground, unable to avoid him coming into the sand, slides out himself, and that allows Braden Tharp to slingshot by and get in. Man, that is crazy, and that LCQ, with the way that those guys are riding, is going to be crazy. I think we've missed 3 out of 4 finishes on the night, by the way. It's all right. It happens. These guys are going really fast. When you drop a 55.0 into a 50 or after a 54.8, Leclerc
LCQ bound for the 7.
Am I dumb? So I said he was going to make it no problem. He's 16.
Well,
he ran a 55.4 though, which if you look at best lap times, that's third fastest.
Where was that in quali?
He's third fastest on the track. Only first and second were better.
Was that in quali? What's going on?
What are you doing, Leclerc?
Oh my goodness!
Lock in. Tighten it up.
Got to call him Locked In Leclerc in this LCQ coming up. But first, before we get to the 450 LCQ, we have the 250 last chance qualifier coming up first. And it is going to, of course, feature 22 riders from our heat races that did not make it in. They are going to go to the gate to see if they make it into the final 4 spots heading to the first 250 East main event of the season right here, right now. So for a lot of guys like D. Davis, Alec Horn, Seth Crotty, Joseph Pilsner, Caden Penkow, Matt Cromie, Xander Brion, who was leading the heat race at one point. He's in this one. Cade Matherly, another name. There's a lot of 2-digit guys in here, and we talked about it at the beginning of the stream. There's going to be some people pissed off after this LCQ.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it happens. I feel like first round of every coast, you saw, I mean, I guess Carr didn't do it, or because he just missed due to difficulties, but like, every single time there's going to be a big name that misses the main. It doesn't really happen too much during real life with the first round, but it's normally like maybe every single guy or every single season there's going to be a top 10 guy that just misses a main, right? Or a top 5 guy, catastrophic, whether it's a bike failure or a crash. But for these guys, it's just you got to get off the gate clean. It's a tight, weird right-hand first corner, so I mean, I don't know. It's like, I think that starts are so much more unpredictable in sim, and we forget about that because you have guys like Jacob Hubbard that can just hole shot over and over and over again. But it's not easy to get inside the top 10, and if you are in 5th, the guy in 4th can tip over in front of you and ruin your race before it gets started. So, Hayden Pankow.
By the way, congratulations, Andrew Wood. You have officially made it on SMX Come tonight, so well done.
Coming.
Yeah, here we go, folks. 250 last chance qualifier time. This is going to be intense. Devin Davis, his 197th start, probably something in that area in this game. Let's see if he can make the main event here tonight or not. Seth Crotty, we know he can get off to the gate pretty well. Joseph Pilsner, he's out there trying to build some ridiculous maps in the game, but he's going to try to make the main event tonight. Here we go, 250 last chance qualifier. 4 go through. Let's find out who they are. We're off and running in this LCQ. Oh man, what a land rush into that first corner, and a couple guys getting pinched off, but a pretty clean start overall. Alec Horn comes out with the hole shot just like he did in his heat race. Does he stay up here? Jack Mark is up here. Evan Cormack, Dalton Caudill, Antonio Velati, Seth Crotty, as we said, got off the gate very well. He's moving into 4th right now as our leaders try to sort each other out, but it's Jack Mark to the front.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the best starts I feel like you can see from the 250 LCQ right there. It was like 9 or 10 guys before I saw the first person down in the second corner. Jack Mark, though, he came up just short in the first race, so I mean, it's pretty good for him to get out front. I think he's going to be someone that is able to kind of extend this lead as long as you hold on into the whoops. Some of the rhythms have been biting these guys. It feels like they're getting better in the rhythms, but it's more of, are the whoops going to bite you or not? And that's like 99% of transferring through this LCQ is do not fall on the whoops every lap, and I think you're going to be top 4.
Well, Mark is getting away just a tiny bit on Alec Horn. They're opening up a gap on the rest of the field, though, as well. Evan Cormack, they're in 3rd. Caudill 4th. Crotty slips back to 5th, but he's still right there with Antonio Vellotti. Take a look at some other names throughout the field. Devin Davis in 9th. Everyone looking for Cade Matherly. He's 15th right now. Actually just moved to 14th. Matt Cromie is 12th. So some guys that we not only expected to contend out here in the East Coast, but maybe even win some main events, might not even make it in the first round of the year as we continue to watch all of this chaos. Up ahead, though, it is still Dalton Caudill holding on to the final transfer spot. Can he keep this position with Seth Crotty still lurking in the background? And you got 4 riders pretty much nose to tail out front. So if you're Caudill here, do you try to go and make a pass? Or are you trying to be cautious and safe in this position? He's going to get a freebie as down goes Evan Cormack out of 3rd.
There was going to be my answer right there. As you see, more guys stacked up, 2 dudes into each other in the whoops right there. Oh, and then another guy just pounds him, and he's down 2. Devin Davis in 5th right there. I'm in such a good mood today. I don't know why. It's just, it's good. Devin Davis, though, dropping from the 450 class to the 250 class, 132 career Supercross starts, 265 overall 250s or indoors and out. And Devin Davis finds himself on the bubble spot in his first 250 race in a hell of a long time. Making a small mistake there, but you got 2 guys almost jumping on top of each other. Riley Goodfellow. Is that Riley Goodfellow?
Oh, Vellotti. He's into the inside tough blocks and goes down.
Bail.
So Rockefeller pushed him a little bit out there, and that's Cormac moving back into 5th. So D. Davis, this is kind of set up nicely for him. He's got some room in front of him, a lot of room behind him. It's about as good as it's going to get, but now he's got to try to survive these whoops, and we know these old bones will kind of rustle around in the whoops a little bit right there as he goes through them, but bounces a little bit awkwardly. So now Dalton Caudill out front right now. The Unk House number 262, 59.343 last time by. D. Davis runs his personal best, and down after the finish line jump, who is that? It is a lapper. And actually someone on the other lane. My apologies. D. Davis, though, trying to get away. Alec Horn, Jack Mark, and Caudill out front as the 4-rider train is kind of broken away from the field. Aaron Rockefeller still back here. We just got to keep an eye on whether or not D. Davis blows this.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say I don't think he will, but then he looked a little sketchy getting on the on-offs. The 250 just does not have the power that the 450 has, the torque especially. So Devin Davis, I'm sure, struggling with some of these lines, but he had to, if he was going to drop down to this class and has bike skins made, I'm assuming that maybe this was a little bit premeditated by him. Definitely taking it very easy in the whoops. I think if he gets into the main, you're going to see him send it a little bit harder. This is all about staying on 2 wheels and qualifying, not going down. In the whoops is the main thing, and I think he knows that more than anyone. He has so much more experience than all of these guys racing. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him keep kind of tapping and doubling through the whoops. As long as it keeps him on 2 wheels, he's going to do that and keep it safe.
He has a 12-second gap now back to Jeff Cooper as more guys went down after the whoops. Jeff Cooper just went down as well. Liam Atkinson moves to 5th. Matherly is actually sliding into 5th place right now. So he's gone from 15th to 5th in about 4 minutes of racing here. Can he somehow get up here? Oh, Jack Mark is down after the rhythm section right there into the Supercross triple. That's going to push him back a little bit. If we have another mistake out of him, that could be costly for his chances on making the main events. And of course, like you said, comes down to the whoops with so much of this. Are we going to get another lap too is a question here. We got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and time has not crossed yet. Dalton Caudill gives him 2 extra laps here as Alec Horn checks in 2nd. D. Davis still in 3rd, and Jack Mark back here in 4th is down after the whoops, and Matherly goes through into the transfer spot. Jack Mark has got to fight back as Cade goes into 4th.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Mark just completely throwing this race away all on his own as far as what we've seen. Cade, though, having such a bad start. Cade Matherly is someone that just last year, a slide out right there, not going to be able to get there as Jack Mark. But Matherly was a title contender the last 2 years, 3 years, and we're talking about him, hyping him up, and then this race just looks so bad from qualifying to the first heat even now. So maybe now he's getting it back under himself and just able to kind of keep this thing going. All he needs to do is get in the main, get some points, don't have to worry about it, and put some more time in next week. And I honestly think that we can see Cade get back up there in the top 3, top 5 battle in the main events. You got to get there. You can't let yourself not have it. But casing that, is he going to get a drive?
Here we go. Here comes Jeff Cooper. And D. Davis was down in the whoops. Jeff Mark absolutely killing have Cooper.
Last
We've
lap.
got white flag is coming up right now, so Jack Mark is going to be right on Cade Matherly, who's sandwiched D. Davis right in front of him. Jack Mark right behind him. Does he go past D. Davis, or what is about to happen? 3, 4, 5 on the track, nose to tail, as we come down to finish this last chance qualifier. Oh man, this is going to be tight as a little slide out for Matherly. Jack Mark is going to sense an opportunity. Where does Mark even try to take a pass if he can get one?
I think you wait for it to happen with a missed rhythm or an alternate rhythm like that. If you see someone, you go triple over and you try to quad in, missing that, but you got to look for the opportunity when the different lines arise. Matherly, though, just trying to play it safe here on out and just see what can happen.
Oh, Matherly triples in behind D. Davis.
He doesn't need to make the move, though, is the thing, and
Meanwhile,
he's just got pressure behind.
Dalton Cotto wins. Matherly sideways and slides out. Jack Mark goes through. It's now down to who makes it through the whoops. Jack Mark is clean. D. Davis is hopping. D. Davis versus Cade Matherly for the transfer spot. Matherly's going to go full send into the sand. Can D. Davis hold on as he gets sideways in the sand to the outside? Matherly gets it close. Billy Laninovich is going to go to the main event tonight here in Tampa. Jack Mark, Alec Horn, and Dalton Caudill join him as Cade Matherly just misses out. We'll have to see if this comes down to cuts, though.
Wow, Cade heartbroken with that small mistake. I was saying all he had to do, we were talking about him pushing past Devin Davis. All he had to do was keep it on 2 wheels. I thought that the gap was going to be too far back to Jack Mark. Cade slides out on that double in, makes the mistake all by himself. Mistake from D. Davis, unable to get that drive and just comes up just short. As long as cuts change, Devin Davis can't have more than half a second here with Cade with a clean race. So we'll see what happens.
Oh,
and Devin Davis drops down and loses by 16 thousandths of a second. Cade Matherly, who disconnected from the server, pissed off, is going to the main event. Devin Davis, our hero. Billy Laninovich, I love you, D. Davis. Just misses out. That is heartbreaking.
Oh, D. Davis.
Oh, my God. I was on the edge of my seat. I was
look away.
Edge that whole race. Look, your broken screen thing is messed up differently this time. You see it?
Yeah, what is going on
It's
in
like
that
a
game?
new pattern.
What is going on in that
I don't
game,
know.
dude? What the heck?
God, I gotta pee, but I can't leave.
Yeah, dude, this
450
race
LCQ
is
is
too
coming
good,
right
man.
up.
Yeah, you could probably go. You got a little bit of time.
Yeah, I can't. All right.
All right, let me give you guys a rundown of who's going to the gate here in, whoops, that was the wrong graphic that I just put up. My bad. Not that. We need that one. There we go. All right, 250 main event, 250 East main event, first one of the year coming up right here, right now. So strap in, folks. This is going to be a very, very good race. Caden Speck, Evan Holt, Evan Vanderkoy, Chase Blakely, Spencer Turley, Jackson Lindsay, Hayden Stevenson, Race Cobble, Cole Betts. Oh, wait, sorry. This is the 450 LCQ first. I thought it was a 250 main. I am just all over the place. Thought the 450 LCQ just finished, but we got some time. We got time here. We got time. And yes, 450 LCQ coming up next. Yeah, it might be the reshade, but oh, you know what it probably is? It's probably just my screen loading the last shaders, not the shaders, the last, what's it called? Reflections, the last reflections that I saw in the game. Because look, if I'm looking, like if I'm Cade Matherly here, look at the top of my screen right now. In fact, let me just do this so that it's even easier to see this. If you do this and you see where the stadium goes across the top right there, it's going to load like the last reflections of the stadium on my screen, but the skybox behind it, I bet you this is what the problem is. So we're going to take a look at whether or not this is the case or not. My video card is being sus. I don't know what's going on. See, there you go. So now where the top of the stadium was, and now we load back in and the stadium's right there again. So yeah, very confused by this. Not sure what is going on, but either way, great game, JLV. Crushing it as usual. All right, time for the final. Oh, what are we doing? There we go. It's time for the final LCQ here of the night. 450 last chance qualifier. Leclerc's got to go through right here, and we're going to find out if he does so. Off and running for the LCQ. Lots of contact, including Leclerc going down into the first corner. A lot of guys went down, though, as Tanner Rogers comes out with the early lead. Castellaneta, McIntosh, Holt, Betts, Schiabro down in turn 2. Leclerc trying to slice and dice his way through some of these guys to make some passes here in the early runnings. That's actually Tyler's show. Where is Leclerc? He is... Did he go down again? trying to go through these guys. He did. Leclerc is now dead last in this last chance qualifier. That is probably going to put the nail in the coffin, but we'll check it out, see whether or not it happens. Tanner Rogers leading, Rogan McIntosh second, Braden Castellaneta third, Evan Holt in fourth as Rogers goes for a bit of a ride in the whoops, just able to corral it back together. And I don't know if you saw that, but my screen, it's like based on where the stadium is what tears on the screen or something like that. It's very weird.
I wonder if Reshade is just having a problem with like all the people in the stands and the weird colored seats. I mean,
maybe.
Come on, dude. Why you gotta have red all different colored seats? That's weird. Tanner Rogers crushing it. Look at this guy.
Out front.
BamMX. This guy's drunk.
Rogan McIntosh, Castellaneta, Evan Holt. So Holtzy in the bubble spot right now, trying to triple into third. He's going to get it. Castellaneta shuffled back to fourth. Nico Marchini going to quad, trying to make the pass, and runs him high and puts him down.
No.
So that was like a Deegan on Beaumare look like. Just give him a little bit of a nudge and let him go down by himself. But Marchini makes the pass. He's into fourth place now, and he's going to have to deal with some pressure right away. Cassius Woods right there on the 79, going to jump over him into the final transfer spot. Side by side into the whoops as Woods gets a great run and goes defensive and makes the pass. Beautiful move by Cash Woods.
Yeah, Marchini is talking about earlier didn't really have the crazy whoop speed, and you see it. Just Cash Woods able to kind of pull alongside him and just have that confidence to hold it on and get by him. But man, these guys are absolutely battling back here. I love 450 LCQ. 250s is more hectic, but 450s I think has some of the best racing just because they're still a little bit wild, but they're going a little bit faster, sending it a little bit more. And we've seen two really good takeouts recently. Jack Mark with that clean takeout, and then Marchini with that really nice block pass there, taking out the front wheel. So I like when they can take them out and ride away.
Yep, and Cash Woods actually able to get away a little bit now as Tyler Show moves into the final transfer spot. Evan Holt still holding on to third. He is putting a little bit of heat on Rogan McIntosh. These are, of course, a couple of our 250 West competitors now jumping up to the 450 class on the East. Cool to see them make it up here. And Tanner Rogers getting away with this LCQ, but behind them it is still chaos, and some stuff might be going down. It just did, actually. Tyler Show gets around and into the final transfer spot. Cash Woods looks like he went down in the whoops. And here's Spencer Turley, folks. He's now into fifth. Can he make it up into the final transfer spot? Let's find out.
Yeah, with a good ride. I mean, heartbreaking heat race for him, and he's going to try to push. I think this 450 class, though, this early on, you're still going to try to play it a little bit safe, keep it on two wheels, and just pray for a mistake. I think it's really the last like lap and a half that you want to start pushing. As long as you see someone within a couple seconds, which the gap right now is just over 1.7 seconds between these two. So Turley able to kind of just keep him in sight and keep it smooth and wait for a mistake. Don't try to ride over your head too early, because you could take yourself out of it before someone else takes themselves out on their own. So looks like actually up in maybe third and second, those guys might be kind of close. Saw on the corner of your screen, yeah, a little bit of a battle up here in front of Spencer.
Yeah, we have a betting poll going on right now on Twitch, and 81% of people think that Spencer Turley is not going to make the main event from this position. So there you go, 81% bet no. So the 19% of you that bet yes, congratulations. You might have yourself a shot at making it in, as Turley's hanging out back there in the background. So Evan Holt made the pass on McIntosh. That's what you saw up ahead, moving into second place. McIntosh now third, and Tyler Show is in fourth. So let's see if Tyler Show can get up there and mix it up with these guys as well before Spencer Turley can get up there and start battling. Back and forth we go for second, though. McIntosh gets back into second place around Evan Holt. Little mistake for the 13 machine in that bowl corner before the Supercross triple, and McIntosh took full advantage. But now Holtzy's going to be able to get a better drive out of this corner. Not quite good enough to get up alongside of him just yet, but three riders pretty much nose to tail, and this is, I feel like, a little bit nerve-wracking for any of them, because you don't necessarily want to be in a battle in an LCQ, even if you're in a transfer spot. And Tyler Show takes advantage. He goes right into third place on Evan Holt.
Yeah, Tyler Show said, I don't want to be in a battle, so let me just make this fast really quick and try to get away from these guys. It's weird, the 450s with having that torque, able to go for the inside. Look at Holtz. He cuts over on him, cleans out his front wheel. Almost broke a leg. If you were car now, you would have snapped it right in half right there. Tyler Show, though, gets back up, not too far back at least, but man, what a bummer. But just a great drive from the outside. Hayden Stevenson got by him as well, so Spencer Turley's still up here. And Holtzy, man, that was aggressive, but it worked out for him, and sometimes that's what you got to do. LCQs are cutthroat, And you got to make the move when it presents itself, and that was the closest he was able to get, made it happen, and put him on the ground a little bit. But, hey, he's still up, and that's what makes it clean.
Well, Turley is now into 4th place, so the 81% of people that said no are getting proven wrong right now by the man himself, as he's on a ticket to the main event as it currently stands. So we'll see if he holds this position. White flag is in the air. Race leader Tanner Rogers has checked out at the front. McIntosh is second, but he just went off the track through the banners right there. That was a bit of a weird ride for the number 62 machine. And here comes Turley trying to close up. Jackson Lindsay is the man who's trying to close up on the Evolved Gas Gas, and that is McIntosh down. I don't know if Turley got into him or what happened, but McIntosh just hit the deck. That is very weird from the position he was in. So Lindsay now in a transfer spot behind Turley, and we'll see. I think these two should be pretty safe, barring any disasters here on this final lap.
Yeah, I mean, God, that's such a bummer right there to kind of go in and just maybe push your front. That rut has like an early beginning, and then it fades away and then cuts again. And I think those guys, it's just lends yourself to push your front end right there. Jackson Lindsay needs to push a little bit. Has he got a vented front number plate? That looks kind of cool.
We'll go check it out in a minute. Meanwhile, Tanner Rogers takes the LCQ win. Evan Holt second, Turley third, and Lindsay did get through the whoops clean. Looks like he is going to stamp his ticket to the main event in 4th. Jackson Lindsay goes to the main event, joining Spencer Turley, Evan Holt, and Tanner Rogers.
Man, hectic, just like every other race we've ever seen. Oh, yeah, it's vented. That's probably... That looks sick. It's modeled that way too, it looks like.
Yeah, I think you can see right through. Yeah, you can see right through it.
That's got to totally not be good for your computer on this game.
No, there's a lot of polys in there. But
sick ride, sick gear too.
It does look pretty sick, yeah. We got to do lit kit. We really do. We got to
get the screenshots.
Yeah, I need someone either to send me screenshots after the race of like 5 or 6 dudes that looked sick, or like I guess I need to go in and take care of it, but a little busy. But I mean, man, it'd be fun if we put up polls on Instagram the day after and see who wins lit kit or something like that.
Yeah, if we did like a top, like a 4 thing and then let people vote, that would be cool. And then we could maybe even announce it or do something the next week. Just shout these guys out and all their hard work. So many times that you have either someone on your team, sometimes it's a team owner that's doing it, but all these guys, right? You're picking what bikes you want to be on your model and creating your gear. And some of these teams have 20 plus sets of gear. Every single rider on the team runs something different every round. And it's really cool because it lets you kind of showcase just the creativity and all the hard work and time and energy that goes into what these guys can kind of create in this game. So really cool to shout those out when we see something that really pops. And it'll just be a fun little thing to do. Spencer Turkey, straight to the main.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Mr. Andrew Wood. First 250 East main event coming up this year. Jaden Gomez, Ethan Gerst, Austin Schaefer, Matherly, Victor, Horn, Dallaire, Partolo, Sun, Padani, Nerona, Soderblom, Mark, Gummison, Hewen, Paolini, Parker, now Shields, Zollers, Caudill. Who wins this?
I hope this isn't like a chalk pick, but I think that Austin Partolo has the speed, kind of went through a little bit of back and forth in his heat race, but I think he figured it out. I think a little bit more time on the track. I think Partolo has the experience and the speed to show us that he can take this thing home tonight.
All right, you got Austin Partolo. Honestly, man, this is going to be tough. I really don't have a good pick, but I liked what I saw out of Emmanuel Cepeda in his heat race. Even though he didn't win it, he was definitely up there mixing it up with Emmett Sund. Obviously, Johnny Padani gets a heat race win too, so kind of, look to those guys to be pretty solid. But then Bodie Parker was solid too. I don't know, man. This is going to be very fun to see who wins this first 250 East main event of the season. And can't wait to see what's about to happen. So we're going to watch our prediction monitor here. Who wins the 250 main event? You can now bet those points on Twitch. Bodie Parker, Johnny Padani, Austin Partolo, Emmanuel Cepeda, Alec Horn, or other are the selections available. So who's going to get it done? We're going to find out here in about 15 minutes plus a lap at the opening round of 250 East in MX Simulator. Wow. 16th year of MotoOption Supercross. And this will be the 14th year we've had a 250 East championship. So for the 14th time in this game, we're about to fire these guys off into turn number 1. And out the other side, we're going to crown a champion in about 10 races. So here we go. 250 main event coming up right now here in Tampa. Round 1 of 250 East is ready. They are set to go. They are hyped up and ready to go. Doesn't get much better than this. The opening round of the 250 East Championship coming at you live here on Start Your Systems TV. Let's drop the gate.
Ooh, two guys ran into the gate there.
Yeah, some chaos on the outside, and it actually opened up a huge gap for Ben Nerona to come through and get the RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award. Second place battle between Padani and Ethan Gerst going on already, but Padani looks like he secures it down. We also have Cepeda up here off the sharp end of the field, but they're all chasing this man, Ben Nerona, out front.
Two really good starts for him, heat and main event, and he's coming out swinging. Let's see if he learned something from that heat race and if he can keep it on too and just kind of keep it. He was just a little bit sketchy on the opening laps, and I feel like if Ben Nerona can put down a couple heaters here, separate himself from the field, he might get too far away for these guys to battle. But look at that, good drive through the whoops. He's got someone coming right up on his rear end, and that is Johnny Padani, who also looked great in the heat race and showing a lot of speed, and these two kind of have a pretty big gap between the rest of them. So let's see what happens early on here.
Yeah, they're opening up just a little bit on the rest of the field. It is Padani and the race leader there, Ben Nerona, getting away. It's Cepeda hanging out back in the 3 spot. Millie Soderblom 4th. Alec Horn rounds out our top 5 with Partolo, your pick, up in 6th. So actually, this is a pretty front-heavy pack. Bodie Parker's up here as well. Tyler Shields, he was fast in his heat race. I think that this is pretty much the usual suspects up front, and this might turn into a really good race if they can stay on 2 wheels.
Yeah, it's cool when you see the names that you expect, right, up there early. There's a couple people that maybe aren't where they want to be. SC Talon Zollers, he's been competitive in years past. A couple people, Emmett Sun, though, back in the pack. Cade Matherly, I thought, would be able to get back. He's in 19th right now. Even after going through the LCQ, I thought maybe he'd be able to run up front and figure it out. But, man, these guys, we got a stacked heat or main event here. This East Coast class getting off to a really good start, and it seems like we don't really know who's going to win. These guys got to try to separate themselves, put down a really good first race for their coast, and try to keep this thing going.
Yeah, Nerona leads the first 2 laps of 250 East. And yes, Puma, I'm aware that 450s were the ones that were added to the game second, not 250s. But because 250s were the only bikes in the game, there were no coasts. It was a combined main championship from 2010 to 2011. So the first 250 West and East series was in 2012. Like I mentioned, so 14 years of 250 coast racing, and we're going to see these guys battle it out for the 14th season. As look at Nerona going for the quad, a little bit short on it right there, and Padani sensing an opportunity, but I guess if you're Nerona, you take that risk because you can maybe gain a little bit of time, but he also didn't lose any time by trying it.
Yeah, I think you can gain time, and sometimes people aren't really comfortable with doing a triple single to the inside and kind of flat tracking on a 90 and getting that power. We saw some people slide out, wash some fronts. So maybe that's just more comfortable if he gets the triple cleanly just to hit the quad to the outside, be nice and smooth. But look at this. He's got some pressure on him. He's a couple of small mistakes in some of these corners. Just lets him get right up on his rear wheel. Padani's pushing Nerona off the track, though. Padani going to go around the outside. Is he going to be able to get back on and get in it?
Nerona looks like he was able to hold steady. Padani tries to go for the quad and comes up slightly short. And third place just went down Cepeda. He was hanging with these guys, but now we have got a mano-a-mano battle really opening up at the front. No one even close now between Nerona and Padani. So as they start to open up the gap on the field, Nerona misses the line into the whoops, and this might be Padani's chance. Around the outside into the race lead, Johnny Padani to the lead in Tampa.
Yeah, those whoops are so big. They definitely aren't jumpers, and one small mistake, it shows like almost, dude, if you make a mistake, you got to roll something to get a double out at least and get a drive, because these guys that aren't able to get a drive through the whoops are just losing so much time. So much to be lost if you go down, but so much time to be gained by blitzing it cleanly. And that jump line not working out smooth, but look how close Nerona is right back on the rear wheel of Padani. Almost looks like Padani needs to get up and go after getting that position, and it doesn't seem like he's really done that just yet.
Yeah, he's
mistake must have been by Nerona to drop back.
Yeah, Nerona's not going for the over-table quad line, which Padani is, which is a risk, similar to the quad that Nerona was doing in this rhythm section. But you know, it's a risk maybe worth taking for Padani to keep trying to open up that gap a little bit, get some time established between he and Nerona. Now it's Padani's turn to make a mistake into the whoops, and here comes Nerona with a run. Can he make the pass right back? He's going to get right there behind him. Not quite close enough, but now we got a battle on our hands once again.
Yeah, this feels like a 2-horse race. Unless these guys both make a really big mistake, these guys have such a big gap early on. Padani's small mistake, but he's still there. Nerona also not the cleanest right there. So Cepeda's still in third, but he's 8 seconds back. Another big gap. So we have Matherly all the way up to 8th after being 19th early. And my pick, Partolo, dropped back to 14th somehow. So really just got to keep an eye on these two until this gap kind of fizzles away.
Nerona goes for the triple to the inside to try to get the race lead, blocks the line, and puts Padani down. That's how you block the line. Padani just had no idea that he would even try to block it, and then just runs right to the back of him.
Cepeda, the same spot.
Almost crashed in the same spot again, able to keep it on 2 wheels, but now Nerona's got a bit of a gap out front.
Yeah, Nerona, man, that's so, 200 IQ move right there, because you get to block it. Padani misses that triple right there. Oh, blocks Cepeda right there, so he's still going to hold on to second for a time being. But man, Nerona, just, you got to commit to that. He did it, and Padani let off enough to not take them both out, which is kind of the risk you run blocking someone's line on the outside. But man, wasn't able to stop far enough to keep himself from going down. So Padani tried to avoid it, unable to get on the brakes just fast enough, and that's a huge lead for Nerona. But now instead of a battle for first and second, we got a different set of riders battling for second and third. So I like that.
Yeah, and this fight is going to, do what they can to keep close to Nerona, because if Nerona has another crash, then these two could obviously get in the mix and battle with him once more. Padani, a little mistake right there. Inside for Cepeda, but Padani's going to go over table. Not going to get the quad right there just yet. So Cepeda able to do the option line and keep it pretty close. Alec Horn hanging out in fourth, and then a little shout out right now to Millie Soderblom, who just ran the fastest lap. And then I say that 19th place Jack Mark runs the fastest lap, because Tyler Shields and Millie Soderblom were in a bit of a fight. Soderblom ran a very, very good 57.7 and then a 57.1 for Jack Mark in 19th place. So these guys are actually going pretty fast back here. Shields a little bit of a case entering the whoops, but not quite close enough to mix it up with our leaders just yet.
Yeah, leader's still battling. A little case on the triple right there from Padani. Up the inside is going to be Cepeda. He's going to have to take the inside line. Not as good for the 250s. They don't have the drive the 450s do. Doesn't seem to lose too much time, though. So maybe if you hit it perfectly, still even, but blows that rut right there in the first corner, and he is going to lose a little bit of time. And this is just allowing fourth place Alec Horn. Fourth place Alec Horn to get. We see this Cowie slowly inching up here. But unable. Kellen, the first thing I told you, I said, man, this track, and I was going to talk about it being one line. You looked at me and you said, so technical. And that's what we're seeing from this 250 class. Yeah, they're able to do the big rhythms, but not consistently. We're seeing most mistakes be made on triple into the corner. These guys trying to extend different things, getting a lot of wheel spin. So I think that's the thing to keep an eye out on, is these guys making mistakes and 2 riders down. Padani down with...
I think he was
Cepeda,
down. I think he was down with
Cepeda.
Cepeda, yeah. And these guys bar to bar into this corner. Oh, and then Horn puts Padani down, entering the next corner. So Padani goes from battling for the lead to slipping outside of the top 3 positions. Nice little line over the finish line right there to not lose too much time, as Cepeda now moves up into second place. They're still all chasing this man, Ben Nerona, out front past the halfway mark. And the number 38 machine is putting it in cruise control a little bit, trying to hold this lead down a little bit as the battles continue to commence behind him. And Cepeda looks like he just went down as well out of second. So Horn now finds his way into P2 as Cepeda drifts all the way back to 5th. Millie Soderblom up to 4th. And then Bodie Parker, Tyler Shields, Cade Matherly, Will Now, Jaden Gomez rounding out our top 10 positions. And, man, who's going to make the least amount of mistakes seems to be the one that's going to get the best advantage here. Right now, that's Ben Nerona, but it's not been that way the entire race, and I feel like it's not going to be that way to the very end either.
I sneaky am going to call Alec Horn for the win here with, what do we got, 6 minutes plus a lap to go. I think Alec Horn has been charging and been the one to make the least mistakes, and he's worked his way up from way back. The lapper goes down, almost gets into, no, I don't think that was him. I think that was another lapper, but Nerona, I think there might be a mistake coming for him. And there's little ones that we see here and there, people clipping and doing all these things, but I think he might go down, and I think Alec Horn is the one in the catbird seat, Kellen.
Yeah, well, taking some option lines. Some lines he's still going for the big 3 in out of turn number 2, but not going for the 3 in right there. Not going to get a good run into the whoops right here. So Alec Horn, who's been kind of hanging a little bit closer now the last couple of laps, is going to see that gap come down a little bit more. He's entering the whoops just as Nerona exits them, but now Horn has a terrible run through the whoops. He gets sideways, and he's going to lose second place, but Donnie goes right back through, and the battle is on once again for P2.
Yeah, look at this. Got to drive up, but you're on the outside. You got to let off, and Padani holds it on and is able to just keep that without letting him up past him. But, man, I like these guys are spicy. This East Coast 250 class is awesome. You just never really know what's going to happen. These guys seem to be shuffling back and forth over and over, and then having what seems like the most difficult track of the year so far, even worse. Even harder than Phoenix is pretty fun seeing these guys for the first time. Padani jumps out the track, and there was a mistake. Only a double in by Horn behind him, but he's going to go by easily, and Padani messes up getting back on, and that is just more time. Millie Soderblom able to get by him on that KTM as we see him whipping up into the third place position here, and he's found himself on the podium with 4 minutes plus a lap to go. We'll see what can happen. Ben Arona still has almost a 10-second lead up front, but Soderblom, after throwing down the fastest lap of the race for a second early, found himself on the podium now, and he's trying to work his way forward and maybe work his way up into the lead.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get there or battle for second at least. There's Padani, there's Parker, and then from barely making it in out of the LCQ, Cade Matherly is 6th. So he stands a shot at even getting on the box tonight, which is incredible to see the turnaround that he's had. A terrible start in the main event as well from the far outside. I guess if there's anything you can learn from this week, if you're Cade Matherly, is I need to go back and figure out a start setup. I need to get a suspension setup that's better for starts, a gearing that's better for starts, because his starts have been atrocious this year, even on a 450, and it really hurt him tonight. Almost didn't make the main event. Now obviously right in the mix where he should be.
It's weird because it seems about 5 or 6 years ago, the technique for starts kind of changed, and it seems like they kind of have stayed the same for so long. So to see Cade struggling after being so good in years past recently is interesting. But Cade to the inside, he gets this double triple just past him, and he's able to get a line down. But Padani up the inside, is he able to get there? No, he's not, and he follows him, but a better drive into the sand. Looks like Padani's going to have the inside here. Is he going to be aggressive? No, he's not. I think going through these lappers is just a little too much, and he cases that triple out before the finish. He's been doing that over and over and over. Oh, and a pile up after the finish. Kellen, you looked away and missed it. Horn was down with a couple lappers.
Was down. Bodie Parker was down. Matherly is second. Cade Matherly just went to second place after moving into 5th. So, yeah, we saw a bunch of guys down right there, and Matherly now finds himself in P2, 13.6 seconds off race leader Ben Nerona. Horn now drifts back to 3rd, Soderblom 4th, Cepeda 5th, and Parker actually going to get by him to go into 5th as Cepeda drifts back to 6th. So this is, and then that down right there was Alec Horn and Soderblom got together.
Alec Horn's over the berm.
Partolo goes by. There's so many more riders going through right now as Horn goes from 2nd all the way back to 9th in about, half a lap.
I'm wondering if Alec Horn caused Soderblom to crash over the finish line, and then Soderblom just punted Alec over the berm, and that's why he saw him over the Davalos bales. Could be what happened. I don't know. Lapper goes down and the whoops gets legs off. Look at that. That's Bodie Parker. That's Bodie Parker. So he's down. Soderblom back past him. I don't even know where everyone is now.
Yeah, so Soderblom just made a pass for 7th just to keep everyone in check. Tyler Shields has found his way into the mix. He's going to pass Johnny Padani, who just had to miss the finish line jump. Or is he? He is not. Padani just got back by him. So Padani is holding on to 5th place. Partolo has crawled all the way up into 4th place now. Amazing ride forward after he was outside the top 10, nearing the halfway point. Cepeda is on the box. He's in 3rd. Matherly is in 2nd, dealing with lap traffic as he's going to try to get by one of the Cowies right here.
Oh my God, he almost quadded out on a 250.
Yeah, just carrying so much corner speed. He's starting to feel the flow that Cade Matherly, we know he has. And Nerona is still leading this thing. 11-second lead. We're down to just about a minute and a lap left to go. So Nerona has navigated the lap traffic quite brilliantly thus far, but it's not over yet. It's 8.4 seconds the gap back to Matherly, and we have a minute left on the clock, so it's going to be very tight next time by of whether or not he makes it through again, or maybe we get the white flag. We'll have to see.
Bye, Puma. Sorry, Kellen, shit on you with facts about 250s and 450s. So we got Ben Arona 8 seconds in front of Cade Matherly, and then that whole battle was basically 4th through like 8th. So it's just crazy how much that battle tightened up with that one big crash from these guys. But Arona, very impressive. I am sorry. I will put respect on your name. I didn't mean to pray for your downfall, say that Alec Horn was going to win. You look good in your pink boots. And I'm very impressed by this ride, Kellen. Someone said in chat, I think he was in the AMs 2 years ago. And now he's checking out on the field here. So,
gosh, it's going to be so close right here. Is he going to check up and wait for it? No, he's not. And he has to roll the finish line jump. So 2 laps now remain. And
2 seconds.
Yeah, Matherly is going to gain a little bit of time because of that weird situation that he just had rolling the finish line jump. So Matherly gets it down to 7.6. Look at how deep this track is, too. Like, if we look at Ben Arona from this view, there's so many ruts all around the track right now. I don't know why my camera's done this.
Why would he not stop?
Yeah,
he like half-assed it.
Checking up, thinking about stopping. It's down to 6.7. That rut out of the corner,
this next
very
one,
deep.
I'm assuming is why he was almost able to quad that 450 class. It might open up if you rail that thing. I guess the lip is lower though, so you can't get over that 5-footer. But look at this, dodging. We got 2 ruts forming there, one outside the big one. The erode has come a long way in this game. Whoops don't seem to be eroding too bad. Sometimes you can see them visually flattening out.
They broke down a little bit for sure. They're a little bit flatter than they were early in the main event.
Can we go to the broadcast camera on him in the first turn, but then when he gets there, click off of him and pause on that rut? I want to show the rut right here in the first corner.
All right, so we're going to watch Arona here on the final lap and how deep this rut has gotten.
So it starts off with a big rut. Now it's built up in the middle, but it's so deep on that second half, and that's where guys were pushing their front. So you have to double apex that corner. And I don't know if that's how people are forming it or if that's just from the way they're getting on the gas, but really weird breaking down right there. And it's just, that seems like a very difficult corner for the first 10 minutes of the race.
Well, it's not over yet, but the white flag is out, and Ben Arona has survived many storms here tonight. He's got to get a clean run through the whoops here on the final lap, and he will be home free. Doubles in. Oh, not going to double again. And he's going to have to roll into the whoops. Not a great drive. Rider's trying to go by him, and he's got to be careful because they're going to maybe get into him. And that rider barely stays on 2 wheels. Narona's like, please just let me go by.
You got to check out.
He lurks in the background. Is Narona going to triple in right here? How close is it going to get to the flag? Ben Narona wins the opener of 250 East here in Tampa. Matherly got to 2.6 back at the flag and finishes second from dead last pretty much off the start. Emmanuel Cepeda ends up 3rd. Padani gets 4th, and Tyler Shields was able to get into the top 5. He's dealing with Partolo though. Is Partolo going to send it here in this final corner? It's going to be pretty close.
No
Shields
choice.
tries to triple in. He's a little bit short, but he's got it by a nose over Partolo. Jaden Gomez. Alec Horn ends up in 8th. Bodie Parker all the way back to 9th, and Gummison will round out the top 10. What a race.
I mean, that was awesome. We didn't know who was going to win coming in. We both picked. You picked the guy on 3rd. I picked the guy that fought up to 6th after fighting up, dropping back, fighting up, dropping back again. So, but man, Cade Matherly, he went to the LCQ, and I think that's the only reason he didn't qualify that good. But I think the fact that his heat race was so bad, and the LCQ, you just expect him to go in, but he wasn't like, he didn't win it by a lot. We thought the Cade Matherly of years past was just not going to show up. He comes back with an amazing ride, only finishes losing out by 2.6 seconds, which is just insane. We got a little bit of cuts, less 400ths from the leader, so nothing crazy, but this is the man and the leader and the red plate holder going into round 6.
But next 2 of their championship, you could have just said round 2 of 250.
Yeah, you know, I was trying to... Yeah, you know.
Wow, what a race. And
that was awesome.
Incredible comeback from Cade Matherly, but big congratulations to Ben Narona. I think that's his first career 250 main event win. I'm sure iMoto will correct me if I'm wrong, but
it's got to be, right?
Yeah, shout out to Ben Narona, who was of the other group on the predictions monitor in here. So shout out to the others who were able to get the job done. And now we get to move to the 450 main event. The big boys going to the gate here for round 6 of the championship. Spencer Turley, Evan Holt, Jax Lindsay, Luke Sullivan, Colby Eaglin, Rasmus Balzer, John Heilman, Jeremy Siebel, Trevor Burns, Caleb Hall, Ash Deering, Blake O'Brien, Braden Carter, Jake Spees, Seth Shirley, Tyler Lang, Braden Tharp, Pablo Vial, Tanner Rogers, Jacob Hubbard, Cooper Hunt, and Seth Carr. Man, I don't know if it gets much more stacked than that. Maybe obviously having Leclerc out there, but otherwise this is still a pretty deep field 5 rounds into this championship. Do you got a pick?
You know what? I like Balzer. I like balls. I really like Rasmus Balzer. I think Braden Carter with the whoops, I don't really see how he can be stopped. But the fact that he hasn't been maybe lights out consistent this year so far, I would normally pick him as my far and away winner. I think it might be interesting to see some of these 250 guys moving up, try to go in there and play spoiler a little bit. So Braden Tharp or Balzer, I think these guys, I think one of them finishes on the podium. I think Balzer win is a little bit crazy, but I think you see one of those guys on the podium.
All right, we're going to see.
Too.
We are going to see what happens here in just a moment. Finally, we are ready to go for the 450 main event tonight. Round 5 of MotoOption Supercross in 2025. 20 minutes plus a lap to fire us off here in the East Coast for the first time in the 450 class for 2025 as well. So here we go, folks. Hope you guys are ready for this one. It is time to go racing. 30 car to sideways. Revs are coming up. Round 5 of MotoOption Supercross coming at you right now.
Someone rammed the gate really bad again.
Seth
Look at that
Shirley's got a good run. Balzer's going to push everybody out, and a huge crash allows Braden Carter to get the RaceFactoryGaming.com Whole Shot Award. O'Brien in second gets landed on, and it causes a bit of chaos behind them. Wow, Shirley and Balzer were having a duel in the first corner, and they hit each other, and both went down. That parted the seas and allowed Carter to get the early lead.
Yeah, I saw another Cowie in there, the bright green one that I don't think is Balzer. That
It's
I thought
Shirley.
was Shirley. Okay, so it almost looked like he might have started it up the inside. I don't know. That was crazy. But look at this action. Blake O'Brien and Braden Carter out front, who everyone does not want to see lead the first lap. Buttery smooth through the whoops. Blake O'Brien, small mistakes like he's made. I think that's going to be the downfall of him, but getting a good start is going to put you in the best finish you can possibly get as Braden Carter leads us around lap 1 here in Tampa.
It is Carter from O'Brien, Caleb Hall, Colby Eaglin. Pablo Vial finds himself in the 5 spot early on. Tanner Rogers 6th, Heilman 7th, Hubbard 8th, Turley 9th, and Cooper Hunt rounds out the top 10. Balzer, who kind of started some of the chaos in turn 1, is 11th at the end of lap 1. Jax Lindsay, Trevor Burns, Jake Spees, Luke Sullivan, Braden Tharp, Evan Holt, Seth Shirley way back here, Ash Deering, Tyler Lang, Jeremy Siebold, and Seth Carr literally dead last for the 6 machine. So some of the fastest guys out here are way back. This is a golden opportunity for this man to really put his stamp of approval on this championship run in 2025. Will he run away with it? We're about to find out, but not a good run into the whoops right here.
Yeah, I think he's technical enough to be able to get the power down, get a drive, and get it clean. The cranker right behind him in second. It's just still so impressive for him to be that close. I know, small mistake by Braden, but Braden Carter has the chance to blow this championship wide open if those guys can't get up as far as they normally do. And I think it's just been such a slow start for him, right? We said if he starts this slow, he needs to lock in and start knocking off wins over and over and over. He's so used to having such a big championship points lead. So Braden Carter wants to keep that red plate and extend the points lead as much as possible. And all you can do is go wire to wire right here and try to keep this thing on 2 wheels. And he's looking really damn good on this track. I think this is the best he's looked all year.
If there's anybody up here that might have a say in this thing, it's probably this man who won last week in Glendale, and we know how good he is once he gets the ball rolling with the win in Glendale and now starting to find his flow a little bit here in 450 Supercross. Colby Eaglin might be on the charts to run down Braden Carter for this race lead. He's got Blake O'Brien right in front of him, which, I mean, big ups to Blake O'Brien, who his heat race was very solid, then a great start in the main event. He's just hanging out with the leaders, no problem, on his Elite Decals number 64 program. Love to see it. Love that he's still hanging out up here, but I feel like if you're Eagland, you want to make a quick pass and leave nothing between you and the man that you're eyeing out front.
I think when he gets there, I think Eagland has the speed to do it and kind of just, and he's smart, so smart, been racing for so long that he knows how to get by people cleanly. I think he'll have no problem once he gets up to the rear wheel of Blake O'Brien, getting by him smoothly. But it's weird because Colby Eagland does so well at Triple Crowns. He's very consistent and doesn't seem to always have the top end speed. Always really good at doing jumps and stuff too, so smooth. But I guess if Braden Carter can't run his top end speed over and over and over, then Eagland, I think, has the consistency, and he's built to slowly inch up over and over and over all these laps. And I think maybe in the next couple corners before the Supercross triple, I think you see Eagland by Blake here.
Look at this. Dualies over the finish line jump between the two of them. And Eagland is right on O'Brien for the race lead. His fastest lap laid in at a 56.031. Braden Carter out front, then followed it right up with a 56.078. So a couple 56 flats for Carter. Eagland 56.5 in third place. Yeah, he wants to get O'Brien and get him in a hurry because Carter's starting to inch that gap out ever so slightly at the front. So where can Eagland make a pass? He's going to try to get as close as he can, and I think the whoops is going to be his best opportunity. But he's also been one of the only guys we've seen here tonight pretty consistently going for the 4 right here, and he's doing it again. So he's quadding to the outside. Does he go for the triple? No, just doubles in. So he's still going for the 4. I'm not sure if it's that much faster, but he's obviously very good in the whoops. O'Brien, though, just holding his own. Doesn't care about the pressure.
O'Brien has got to have his best lap of the race right here, I would assume, because, yeah, Eagland, I expected it by the Supercross triple, and then if he would keep it close, I thought for sure the whoops, just unable to do it. Blake O'Brien just seemed to be so smooth that lap, and just, yeah, he did run his best lap right there with a 56.1, so good to see him kind of smoothing out a little bit, and that's going to make it way better for Braden when you know someone like that is kind of smoothing out a little bit in front of Colby, making it more difficult, because the further that Colby Eagland, or the longer in this race Colby's not in second, the better off for Braden and the less pressure he's going to have on him. We're a quarter of the way through this race, and the gap has stayed pretty much the same, maybe gotten a second longer. They've been pretty much marking each other, but Colby's got to make a move, and here goes the triple.
Yeah, that triple in is going to be critical if he's going to get up here and try to make a pass on O'Brien, but he also doesn't get as clean of a run in the whoops, maybe? Yeah.
I think the double's good because even though you're tripling off a 5-footer, you're not slamming on the brakes and losing that momentum. You're just kind of not pinning it. And then that allows you to carry so much more speed from that triple through the whoops. And then it's got to be 2/10 slower, I feel like, to do that instead of doing double triple. But I do like the quad if it's comfortable for him. Eagland really likes the big lines. He's always showed us that. So just got to find it somewhere, maybe through here, or wait for that Blake O'Brien mistake, but it's not coming like I guess I expected it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, what's crazy is up front, while these guys are battling each other, Carter just went 56 flat, 56 flat, 56 flat, 56.1, while almost all of these guys are 56.5 and above. There was that random 56.1 for O'Brien a lap ago, but he's just inching away half a second a lap as it goes by. And if Eagland can't make a quick pass here, I think it's just going to keep extending that gap. O'Brien over the bars in the whoops, but he stays on 2 wheels, loses the position, but still holds on to third. And that now is the opportunity Eagland was looking for. Clean air for the 24. Now, is this the difference? If he finally starts putting laps together and keeps Carter close, does Carter start to get a little bit flustered that he hasn't pulled out the gap that he wants?
I think with that small mistake, I do want you to tell me what Braden Carter, how flat was that lap time, Kellen?
That 56 flat was about as flat as it gets.
Super flat right there. So that small mistake we saw from Eagland coming out of the sand, that's going to maybe lose you a 10th or 2. So if I don't see Eagland under a 56.5 here, I think the first time he has clear air, right, he's not going to probably hit these lappers yet. I think that's going to tell us the story of the race. Other than that, it's going to be Braden Carter throwing the race away on his own. If Colby Eagland just can't really lock in. And I think maybe he prefers going to that inside. I think maybe the reason was that Blake O'Brien was doing it and Colby Eagland's smart enough to not follow. So maybe that's why he was going triple quad to the outside there.
Yeah, it could be. Meanwhile, 55.6 for Braden Carter out front, which is crazily enough still not the fast lap of the race. 56.3 for Eagland. So we're getting better, but Carter's still pulling away. So let's go check out some other stuff going on. Caleb Hall in 4th, just ahead of John Heilman, and Rasmus Balzer, who is charging forward quite nicely. 58.3 last time by, but he was in the low 56s for a while. Pablo Vial hanging tough here in the 7th spot. Tanner Rogers 8th. Luke Sullivan has cracked into the top 10. He is in 9th, and Cooper Hunt rounds out the top 10. I'll tell you who has the fast lap of the race. We got to dig deep because he's having a horrid race. It's this man, Seth Shirley, 20th place, and it just actually changed. Seth Carr goes 55.2 in 13th place, but Shirley had a 55.5 to his credit, and now he relights the sector times again. A 54.273. Seth Shirley in 20th place is running 54-second lap times. What the heck?
He reminds me of like a Payson Johnson, where it's just wreckers or checkers, basically, where he can throw down these hot laps, but it doesn't matter if you're in 20th. I mean, you came in trying to be a title contender. I don't think he's that far back. Like, he's top 5 in points, right?
Yeah, fourth.
So when you're 4th in points, you're within 20 points, which I said was my cutoff almost through the bars. You can't be doing this. I don't care how fast of a lap you're going to run back there, but you got to keep it on 2. Oh, my God.
Yeah, his whoop speed's pretty ridiculous
But
as he
then
gets
that
taken
happens.
out
You got to,
by
like,
Braden Tharp, yeah.
that I don't, like, you were so fast into the corner that you slid out, right? And then that caused you to come down and hit Braden, like, and you're lapped. Like, I don't know. That's championship dreams, hopes and dreams over for Seth Shirley, I feel like, just from this one race.
Yeah, it's not good, but we'll see how far up the field he can get. Meanwhile, the other man that we were talking about who's putting down some great laps, Seth Carr, has climbed to 11th. He was also dead last at one point during this race, so made it halfway through the field so far, and we're not even quite yet halfway through the race, coming up on the 10-minute mark here in just a minute. So he continues his charge forward. Then we got Cooper Hunt, Luke Sullivan, Tanner Rogers, Pablo Vial, Caleb Hall. They're still going to work. Look at Vial around the outside on Caleb Hall. Nice pass to get up into the 6th spot for the number 20 Impact Honda ride. John Heilman still holding on to a solid 5th. Balzer is now 4th. 56 flat last time by. And now he is going to try to reel in Eagland, who has gone backwards again. Blake O'Brien back into the 2 spot. And, ooh, that's not good right there. He just kind of whoop sectioned that rhythm section. And now Eagland's going to close back up again.
Yeah, very impressive here. I feel like Blake can't not be the answer. I was going to ask you surprises and disappointments. Look at that. Eagland up the inside, goes by. Eagland into 2nd. Blake O'Brien back to 3rd, but still holding on to a podium spot. 10 minutes into a 450 main is damn impressive as he almost goes through the front door there. Oh my gosh, that's so close to going over the bars. But I was going to ask, who's your biggest disappointment and your biggest surprise? But it's got to be Blake O'Brien for surprise, even as he goes down, pushes the front, just going too fast into this rut here.
Honestly, I'm pretty surprised with Heilman, who is battling right there side by side with Rasmus Balzer. I don't know what that was about. Caleb Hall almost tees up Balzer, trying to go into 3rd place, ends up settling back into 5th. Well, now here comes Tanner Rogers jumping up the inside, and Caleb Hall goes down. We have got chaos aplenty. Luke Sullivan is making a pass up the inside of Tanner Rogers, or trying to. He blocks him off. That is Sully now into the top 5. Rogers right behind him, and Blake O'Brien all the way back to 7th. It's now Carter from Eagland, Balzer, Heilman, and Sullivan inside of the top 5. That changed very quickly, but yes, I am impressed with Heilman hanging on to 4th right here. Massively disappointed in Seth Shirley right now, but I feel like these races are about to get pretty intense in the midfield here. Yeah,
Balzer is impressive to me, but I called him or Tharp for a podium, so I think that's it's not something that's really like blowing my mind. I just know he has the speed, and obviously qualifying and everything he showed us so far, that's really cool. But Blake O'Brien running up front for that long, now all the way back to 10th, that's a heartbreaker for him. Literally in 2nd, 10 minutes through the race, and then now you're all the way back to 10th. But yeah, my disappointments has got to be someone just like Tyler Lang, or maybe Braden Tharp being that bad. Seth Shirley just not. I don't know what you're doing, Seth. Come on, like, I like Seth, but bummer. I guess we gotta just can't dwell on the bad things, and gotta support all the fast guys up here that are doing really cool stuff. And there's a lot of them with very impressive rides up front.
Yes, they are absolutely killing it. John Heilman, like we said, Sullivan, Tanner Rogers. I think there was some contact back here. Caleb Hall and someone else, maybe Vial, just got together in the corner before the Supercross triple. So yeah, Blake O'Brien working his way backwards a little bit. Shame, because he was definitely in a good spot for a podium there. Now finds himself in 8th. There's Trevor Burns in 9th. Vial is 10th, but just went down with Cooper Hunt. So something's going on back here. I feel like there's some guys getting into each other over positions they really shouldn't be. So is Cooper Hunt about to pay Vial back? No. So I don't really know what's going on
That
here.
was the rare, I'm just faster than you and I'm going to get away.
Maybe. Well, Vial might be about to dookie on him. We'll see what goes on right here as they go through the sand. Look at Vial the drive. Cooper Hunt trying to block him, and Vial just forces his way in there to make the pass. I mean, cool battle. I don't know if there's a lot of contentious stuff going on between them.
There's some. They're pissed off. I mean, Vial's mad. He almost dookied on him. Almost pulled an Amber Heard over there, and just didn't. Not completely, but Vial's got the speed. It's weird when you see people this far back. It's kind of like Seth Shirley. You see someone kind of far back that clearly is way faster than that guy he's battling with, right? And in a fight with, and maybe that's why he's mad. Sometimes it's just that the guy's having such a shitty race. He's throwing down. Vial in this incident might be going so fast, but then crashing and be like, I'm not supposed to be back here. And then that makes him more mad. That was cool.
That's cool, yeah.
But then it's like, right, it's not so much that someone did something to him. They'll probably rage at him after, but you probably put yourself there in the first place. Bad start, bad race, lots of crashes. And we got special guest number 2 coming in for the night.
We do have
Hello,
special
Holly.
guest number 2 coming in as Braden Carter. Braden Carter continues to lead the race here by 12 seconds. And let's see. Oh, here comes my daughter. What does my daughter have to say to the people tonight? Well, she just crawled under my desk and she's just laughing. Got anything to say?
Good night.
Good night. Anything else?
My mom is here right now to take care of me.
Yeah.
Mama always takes
Mommy
care
always
of you.
takes care of her.
My goodness.
And you good?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
As yes, Braden
Carter's
Carter
just battling
continues
with
to lead
lappers.
this race. 12 seconds. Ooh, just got together with a lapper a little bit right there. That was a little bit closer for comfort than Carter probably really wanted to. 11.2 seconds now, the gap back to Eaglin. Eaglin's still riding very well. I mean, it must be said, he hasn't made too many mistakes, but Carter's just that fraction better. And now 5 minutes left to go in this race. I don't think Eaglin's got a shot unless Carter throws this away.
Yeah, I mean, Eaglin he's always seemed to be that consistent guy that's fast, but he's just not as fast. When you have 55s getting put down, you can run 56 2s and 3s consistently. He's so smooth, so consistent, always really good at jumping, but it's just not enough, I guess, when you have a freak show like Braden Carter out there. If Braden wasn't here, Colby Eaglin, would have 2 wins in a row, and we'd be like, okay, this guy's taking over the title. And I mean, obviously, Braden Carter's still due for some blow-ups, and this race is not over yet. So I just love having a guy like Colby Eaglin in the series that you can always kind of count on. So clean and smooth the way that he rides. And I love watching Colby Eaglin. And hey, sometimes you got to settle for a second.
Whoa.
Hold on to her, Colby.
Nice save. Could have been a lot worse right there, but a lot of time lost as well in that. 14 seconds back now. Luke Sullivan, by the way, has climbed all the way into 3rd place, and this is a patented Luke Sullivan ride, although that was a little bit weird right there. Never gets good starts. I mean, I swear, you could buy this guy a good start, and he'll still find a way to crash on the first lap, and finds himself way back through the field and has to charge forward back onto a podium again. Always finds his way forward in the race. Probably will get the record for most passes in a single year at some point because of how many guys he has to passes every week. But 3rd place, not too shabby, and some good points.
You kind of just shit on him a little bit. Like this is true. Got to get those starts figured out, and it's weird. I said earlier, like, it's so hard to be consistent on starts in this game, and people that have done it have won championships off of it. Leclerc might not have always, that was so close, been the best guy. As he goes down trying to avoid a lapper, stays on 2 wheels. But it's Luke Sullivan, that's something he's just got to figure out, whether it's a setup or something. As Balzer passes him, then slides out, Luke Sullivan into him. So now Balzer tips over again. Luke Sullivan going to hold on. Or no, Tanner Rogers got by into 3rd. So Tanner Rogers now in a podium position. Sullivan back to 4th. And John Heilman up to 5th as Balzer lost a couple spots there. So
and then Rogers just slid out on the start straight. So we're kind of seeing why Carter's got a big lead on the rest of the field. Just little mistakes.
inconsistency.
Little mistakes. Yeah, inconsistency all the way throughout the field. There's Heilman, like you said, he moved back into the top 5. Caleb Hall and Balzer going at it still, and Balzer gives him a little love tap and continues on his merry way. Jeremy Seabolt also sneaking up into the picture, the 2020 MotoOption Supercross champion. Crazy to think that Seabolt, who I feel like we haven't really seen at his peak in a while, was the last guy other than Braden Carter to win this title, because it seems like it's so long ago now that Carter wasn't the #1 holder. But yeah, Balzer, Seabolt, they're all hanging tough right here. I will say Eaglin's got it down to about 8 seconds now. So just in case things get a little bit weird up front, keep an eye on that, because Carter hasn't fully put this thing to bed just yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Anything inside 10 seconds, you're not completely comfortable. Braden Carter ran a 101 last time around, so had a mistake. Probably not a full legs off unless he was putting down blazing lap times, but you're getting into lappers. The track is eroding. Braden's really good in the whoops. I don't think that's going to be, and I also don't see them really breaking down. We talked about that earlier, but I think it's going to be other spots on the track. If you just, one lapse of judgment and you're done, or one bad, my vocabulary's ass. One bad run-in with a lapper and your whole race is just kind of over, Small mistake there, but he's still going to probably throw down a heater, but it sucks when you can be perfect and, lappers are still coming. And when you're that fast, he has to deal with lappers every single race he's ever ridden. So 4 titles in a row, even when he has his blow-up races, he still can get it done. But, man, Braden Carter, he's just so automatic. It's cool to watch him do this. Colby Eaglin do it in second, him do it in first. And these guys are just, they're like robots playing the track.
They are, man. It's crazy because we come from the era where you could crash 2 or 3 times and still probably pretty easily win a main event if you had the raw speed to do it. But now you have to be extremely consistent and extremely fast to do what these guys are doing every single week. Eaglin amazingly good at Glendale. Carter 2 wins on the season already, looking for his 3rd. And of course Seth Carr, the winner back at San Diego. These guys just know how to get it done. Anybody else that's trying to knock them off the pedestal has got to figure out the recipe to success, and that recipe comes with raw speed and raw consistency that just is unmatched throughout the field. But Carter's on it, and he's on it here again in Tampa with a lap and a half left to go, looking like he is on his way to victory once again.
Yeah, one thing that Lane said in chat is there's so many 250 West guys racing that don't know how to ride a 450, and they're causing chaos. I do feel like that's potentially true. I mean, Braden Tharp is in 19th right now. You've got guys that have moved up. Look at Braden Carter having to avoid this. We'll keep an eye and make sure no one goes down. But then you see the opposite side of Rasmus Balzer having an absolutely amazing ride. So these guys,
in the 450 class full time. So,
well, he was just on 250s,
yeah.
But it's like just because you moved up and rode it for a little bit, yeah, some of these guys you would think they'd have more time, but I think the 450 class, the racecraft is just so much better, and I think that's really what the people that are moving up don't have. Is it's not so much the power, maybe they can't control, that's a couple fall-offs a race, but I think it's just how fast things move and how precise these 450 guys are. Not everyone moving up from the opposite coast can do it. But Braden Carter, he's been doing 450s for a long-ass time, and he's really good at it.
And you see, just from these last few laps, even with lap traffic, how automatic it is for Braden, just navigating through, still hitting his marks, not doing much of anything wayward, and just getting all the way to the checkered flag the way he knows how to. How about this one? Braden Carter, his 31st career Supercross victory, wins here tonight in Tampa. His 3rd win of the season, extends his championship lead, and it's going to be over this man who will move fully into 2nd place with Leclerc out of this title hunt pretty much after missing the main event. Eaglin picks up P2. Now who gets 3rd? Ooh, Rogers and Balzer were going for it, and then Rogers, well, what did he do, Awood? You know what he did?
Hit the pixie stick! I can't say it in that voice without yelling. Also, my voice has gotten a little bit deeper in the years since that, but still my favorite drop. 2 pixie sticks tonight that we've seen so far. Tanner Rogers coming across with a great 3rd place ride. Rasmus Balzer incredible 4th. And Siebel, our last championship winner, comes across 5th, even though that was 5 years ago. Luke Sullivan, Seth Carr moves his way on up. John Heilman rolls across. What P are we at now?
We are at P10.
P10. Trevor Burns, good ride for him, smooth and steady. Blake O'Brien, after getting a early, not the whole shot, but was up there early for 10 minutes in 2nd place, falls back but is able to stop the bleeding right at 11th. So, hey, kind of stopped where he fell back to. He kind of stayed in that spot. So maybe he found his home and he'll come out swinging next week, try to put a better position, better finish up there. Cooper Hunt.
Oh, he's just doing
He
an extra
already
lap.
finished.
He's already a lap down.
He's in 12th. He's doing what he's going to get a 1 hour ban like
Seth
me.
Shirley gets back to 14th. Turley 15th. Vial, Spies, Deering, Tharp, Holt, Hubbard, and Lindsay was your finishers here tonight in the 450 main event from Tampa. But of course, they all chased home the champ. Braden Carter, with one of the most consistent main events we've seen in a long time, whole shot to checkers, gets the job done here at round 5. Wow. What a night. Good stuff all around. And yeah, many congratulations, like we said, to Mr. Braden Carter getting the job done again. Made it look a little bit boring, but that's what he does, man. He's just so damn good at this game.
I mean, you see him get the start, and it's one of two things, right? He could have a blow up, but with how good he looked in the heat race, I think it's not surprising to see him go wire to wire and pretty much fastest guy on the track, at least consistently. No real big mistakes that we saw. I think that 101 might have been his worst lap with a slide out. So, man, Braden Carter is insane, and that's why he's the 4-time champ, 4 in a row. And these guys are all chasing him.
He's working towards the 5th right now. 5 rounds into this championship, pulling it away. Another 3 points over Colby Eaglin. So it'll be Carter over Eaglin by 8 heading into Detroit next week. Of course, round 2 of 250 East after Ben Nerona capped off a first career Supercross win here tonight in the 250 East class. So fun night to kick off 250 East. Fun round of 450s. And yeah, on to Detroit we go.
On to Detroit. I will not be here next week.
That's
sad.
okay. That's okay. Sad.
I'm sad though, because this is my favorite place to be on Wednesday. It's sad when I'm
You just can't beat it, man. You can't beat MotoOption Supercross. It's too good.
We had really good numbers. Thanks everyone joined us in Twitch and YouTube. It's awesome. I'm sad I don't think J-Law watches anymore since Casey Cochran's not racing. So hopefully once we get back on West Coast, or tell him to move up to 450s. I want J-Law to be here. I want him to watch.
Well, Cochran was on a 450, so he's just taking some time, man. He's trying to heal from the injury. Maybe now that Jet's injured, he'll get back into playing, and we'll see him out here.
Yeah, Jet. Yeah, maybe. I think so.
Well, he does play sim.
You think Jet's going to come in here and start knocking off some... Maybe Braden Carter will kick him out of the way.
Yeah, Jet takes on Braden.
That'd be so sick. That's how Burkeen got fast. He got hurt.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That's round 5 of MotoOption Supercross. Thanks again so much, everyone who tuned in. Thanks for all the subscribers. Ton of you guys over there on Twitch still subbing up every month, and obviously that helps us out. So very much appreciate the support. And we'll be back next week for Detroit, round 6 of MotoOption Supercross, coming at you from the Motor City. Can't wait. Excited to be there, and we'll see you guys next week. So long for now.